What's going on, guys? Black Friday and Christmas are around the corner, and you want to make sure you stock up for your significant other. Get to manscaped.com/RBP or use code RBP and get 20% off plus free shipping at Manscaped. And I want to show you guys some of the new cool stuff they have. I've shown you guys the beard hedger. This is the new beard trimmer, which is pretty cool. It's got a built-in guard system. So all you got to do is like turn this dial and it will adjust to whatever trim setting you want. So you can make sure you keep it faded properly and set up. Now, the second cool thing and the new thing they sent me is the Lawnmower 5.0. This is the new 5.0. It's got a better system for even better trimming, but also the coolest thing about it is this head pops off, the body trimmer, and this electric shaver pops on in its place. So now you have a beard trimmer as well and a body trimmer in one, which is pretty cool. It just means less pieces to buy and everything all in one place. So guys, get to manscaped.com/RBP, check out the Lawnmower 5.0 package and get something cool for your significant other. Good morning, Ian.
Morning. What's up?
What's going on?
Not much. You?
Why do you still have hair?
What do you mean?
I thought you were supposed to shave it.
Shave it for what?
Don't you have to shave it when you go to Turkey?
Well, they do it. I don't.
Oh,
yeah, I think they want some like length on the side for when for doing the transplant. So I don't know how the procedure is, but Chris told me to don't cut it at all until I go there.
Ah, okay. I was expecting to see you with a shaved head today.
No, you'll see me with a shaved head with my destroyed head when I'm back.
Oh. Is it going to be all scabby and gross?
Yeah, it's going to look pretty fucked up. I had one guy that saw I was doing it. And he had just gone there the other week and sent me pictures of his head while they were doing it. It looked fucked, just destroyed, you know?
I wish I could I would do it. I totally would do it if I could do
it. 8 hours while they did it, and it's pretty rough.
So you leave Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday. We fly out of Toronto, so I'm going to go to Melissa's parents live in Kingston, so half between here and Toronto.
Yeah.
So we'll go there, have lunch with their parents, and then we're taking the train from Kingston to Toronto so we can leave our car there and then fly out of Toronto and then fly from there to Dubai.
Good afternoon, James.
Afternoon, gentlemen. Do I sound right? How you doing?
Good.
What are you going to put on the green screen?
Oh, this is why I don't like Zoom, because you can't do shit.
I love how distraught you get. I'm like, what do you put on the, I can't do it.
Dude, it really bothers me because I can crop it on all the other software and have it looking really flashy and no background. I'm in the game. And then on here, I'm like, here's my green screen.
What do you want to, what software should I use?
Streamlabs is what I use when I stream. But you can do it for recording as well. That's
really
good. Yeah, Streamlabs OBS. You can have themes. You can make a hostile theme.
I saw OBS. I downloaded OBS. I don't know how to fucking use it. I'm so
Streamlabs OBS and then OBS. Streamlabs OBS I think is easier to use.
Okay, I'll check it out. Then next time you're on, you can do some crazy shit.
If you need any help, my mate Mitch, who helps me, he'll be happy to if you get stuck with anything, he's really handy. He does all my graphics for the gym page as well, all the posts with the equipment and stuff. And he knocks it up in 2 seconds.
So I love that.
Yeah, man.
Ben, what's up?
Oh,
hi, Annika.
They said hello. Should I put his green screen down? Because it looks a bit shy.
You can put background on.
No, leave it.
I can't do anything in this.
I'll show you.
Ben, how are you? Oh, he's not on yet.
He's finding his sound. How are you, Ian? Are you all right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, good.
This is
with you guys.
Well, I was going to say, James, I got a Aryan chat today.
Yeah. I was about to do a little if I went there, little hand symbol there.
I'm the odd man out, but I was like, you know what?
You're outnumbered now. Yeah.
Have all the white guys on.
I know this.
Ben, can you hear me now?
Tried coming in and doing the background. I know that one. Can't cut it though. Nobody can't cut.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Phil.
Get out of there.
James, I don't know if you know, Ian's leaving Tuesday to get his hair done.
Oh, I knew you were getting it because I saw on some of your posts you were replying to people in stories about it. I didn't know when you're getting it. How are you feeling about that?
Uh,
Apprehensive?
Excited, but no. I'm nervous because I know it's going to be a long. Like you sit there for fucking 8 hours, where they pick your head apart like monkeys, you know. But it'll be good. We're going to Dubai before. We're going to the Dubai Muscle Show on next weekend. So we'll be there for a few days, and then we go from there to Turkey and do. Me and Chris are doing our hair in Turkey. So
nice. Have you been to Dubai before?
I haven't. No.
It's actually pretty good. I quite liked it. I thought it was quite fun.
I fucking love it there. I like. Me and Summer want to do a vacation this year somewhere, and I want to go somewhere new just because I want to see somewhere new. But I love Dubai so much. I'm like, maybe we're gonna go
back to Dubai.
Maybe we're just gonna go back. It was such a good time.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be good too. My birthday's on the 27th, so I'm actually getting my hair done on my birthday. But we'll be in Dubai right before that, so I'm like, I can get fucked up on my birthday in Dubai. You know,
brilliant.
You're gonna be sitting there with your hair all hung over while you're getting your fucking hair done.
That's okay. I'll sleep. I'll just be so hungover. I'll just make sure I'm so fucked up that I'll just be passed out the whole next day. You know.
Ben, can you hear me now?
Got you. Yeah.
How are you, man?
Good, man. How are you guys?
This is like a throwback bollocks.
Throwback, yeah.
Crew back. Like it. It's nice to see everybody.
Gang back together.
And it's like we got Ben's internet cutting it out. It's perfect.
I've missed Ian because Ian's like bro chat essential, and I've kind of missed him.
Well, yeah, that's why I said I thought it'd be nice to get the old crew back together.
I might cry.
I'm doing this during daytime for me too, which is like abnormal.
I know. Remember, we used to do them all during the daytime.
Look how bright it is out. You know, it's usually nighttime for me when we do these.
We used to do
high energy.
We used to do them all during the day, and then somehow we switched to night, and then we never went back.
Our group are always like 7:30, 8:30.
Yeah. Anyway,
for James, it's what 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, about that. I think.
Well, that's why we started during the day, because when I started with Luke, it was always 5 hours ahead or whatever. So
yeah.
That's weird when I fly to Dubai too, because I leave on the 21st, but I don't get to Dubai till the 23rd.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I leave at 7:40 p.m. from Toronto.
Yeah.
And then I fly, it's 16, 17 hours, whatever it is. But then you also gain 7 hours.
Right.
So it's more so it's the 23rd morning, even though I leave on the 21st.
Yeah.
So the whole day of the 22nd is just disappeared for me.
So I know you're flying against the.
I'm playing against the time, but then also with 18 hours of travel time. Yeah.
Wow.
So I know you told me they were taking care of everything because you're a celebrity.
Yes. Well, no, Chris Bumstead's a celebrity. I'm just like.
Sly in there.
Tag along.
Yeah, I know C-Bum. I had another one yesterday. I was at the gym yesterday at Good Life. I was training with one of my like high school buddies. Yeah. We were just like working out. We went and shot the shit and trained some arms yesterday. And we're at the gym, and some kid comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, I've seen you before. You know C-Bum, right? You're in his videos. I saw you in his videos." I'm there with my high school buddy. I'm like, "Fuck." I'm like, I swear people know me for more than just this. You know?
I know. That happened to me with Sam.
Yeah. I
went to a Harley dealership, and one of the guys that works there is like, "Hey,
you know Sam.
You know Sam Sulek." I'm like,
Well, remember when we were doing my truck thing, and even those fucking guys that cut the lock off for us.
Oh, that's right. Those guys. No, those guys knew who you were.
No, they knew who we were, but they were saying Sam Sulek.
They were Sam fans.
They were Sam fans, and we were like making the comment of how crazy it is that these were like, you know, guys with tattoos on their face. Yeah. They were like Latino guys in South Florida, like 40, 45 years old. They're like, yeah, we watched Sam's shit, you know?
That's the same thing. That's the same thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Now you guys have that nice affiliation, and you're with Sam. You probably go anywhere in the world to be safe.
Yeah.
Like say, going deep into Mexico, and they're like, they know Sam.
They know Sam. Yeah, we're good.
My DMs are getting lit up because of Sam.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I know this is like wrong for me to ask, but can you talk to Sam about business opportunity? Can you ask Sam about this?
Oh my god.
About a business opportunity.
Oh, you know all these bullshit.
Yeah.
Basically, can we have access to this man because he makes everything blow up?
Yeah.
No.
They're basically saying, can we have access to the guys because he doesn't answer any DMs.
None. Didn't even answer me.
Yeah, but he didn't answer you for a good reason. He told me he didn't answer you because he didn't want to do the one chip challenge.
Asked him to do the spicy.
So
chips.
James, Ian was trying to get him to do that one chip challenge with him.
You know,
yeah. So he didn't respond to him. He's like, I didn't want to fucking do that shit. So
I like how matter of fact he is and quite straightforward. I like that. It's really cool.
Yeah. He marches to the beat of his own drum.
I had the most surreal meeting earlier with them all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't imagine it, but him and Ashley just started talking about blow drying their hair, and they got into it, and I'm like, I sat back, and I was just like,
just let him go.
What's going on?
You get the fuse on the hair. I was like,
Yeah.
happening here?
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Ian will be able to join in on that conversation very soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna grow it.
How long are you gonna grow your hair?
I'm gonna let it grow forever for the first while.
I miss long hair.
We should put a time. We should put a time on it. Like, see, like try and hold you to it.
I just want to let the top grow.
Yeah. You can cut the sides and shit, but like,
yeah, I'm gonna grow the top for a year minimum.
Do you think it'll like frizz out, or do you think it'll be like Brad Pitt? Like,
no, my hair when I grow it is a little like wavy. It's not curly, but it's like got a lot of waves to it. Actually, yeah.
I'm getting Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. You can wear leather jackets and shit and just look like you could be like what Fouad really wants to be.
Well, it's perfect actually because Ian's buying a motorcycle next summer.
Yeah.
So by then he'll have long hair. It'll be perfect.
I'll have the long hair. I get the jacket. I'll be ready to go.
What kind of bike?
Oh yeah, what kind of bike?
Well, I'm not going to get a sport bike. That's for goddamn.
He's getting a Harley.
Yeah.
Is there any hope with the hair for say two bald gentlemen? Or is it totally no? Like, is there no?
I think you're too far gone. Well, I don't know. When you grow the top, how much do you actually get up there?
Tennis ball.
Tennis ball.
Yeah.
How about? Is the sides of your head still good?
Thick as fuck. Like my beard.
Oh, you can do it if the sides are thick.
Well, what you could do is because they'd obviously have to take a lot from the sides, and probably if they did take, I wouldn't take it from your beard. The texture's different. Yeah. But you would just have you'd have so little left on the sides from transplanting it all. You'd have to keep the sides basically shaved the rest of your life and just have top,
So I'd be vanilla ice.
They told me they could do my beard.
Yeah, but it's a different texture of hair. I don't know if you want to do that. Like people do it, but I don't know if it's the same.
It's a bit wiry.
You have like Brillo paddle in the fucking on your head.
I don't know if when they transplant the follicle, if it grows in like your head hair does. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, no, it's the same. It will come out like you.
Yeah. So
like
I think that's okay if you. Yeah, but I wouldn't.
That's okay. I'd have a fro. I just have a fucking like a fro, like just straight up.
Well, we'll watch. Ian and Chris, and we'll see how things develop with them. And then, maybe a year or two from now, me and you'll be on a plane.
Maybe they can use my my back hair. It's very thin. Then I'd have wavy hair.
Yeah, they also imagine them doing that surgery where they're there and they're fucking pulling hairs out of your back all day. At least you're like numbing just your head, and it's like one thing. Even your beard, that would be awful, man. They're putting like
beard would hurt.
Yeah, they're putting needles to numb your face and pulling it out of your fucking beard. Like, ugh.
I feel like the back wouldn't be as bad as the head.
Probably not. No, it's like this is such thin, tight skin. Like,
Ben, go ahead. What were you gonna
say? They pulled the plugs. It's uncomfortable. I was in from 5 a.m. until 6 in the evening, and it was.
Oh, yeah, you did it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It sucks.
Yeah. But
they did 2000. They took off here, and look. What the fucking point? Yeah. But they put them like here and here. But putting the plugs sucked, man. Sucked.
Ben, can I ask why? So why did you do it if you're just going to shave your head, or you didn't like it?
There's a full explanation.
I want to know this.
So when I first shaved my head, so I used to dye my hair, right?
Yeah.
Right. It was long. And
I remember. Yeah.
Right. So, but I was like 290, like over 290. So one time I did it and I bleached it too long and the shit fell out. Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I was left with and I was like, fuck, I'll just shave it. So I shaved it, and what happened was I ended up with that.
The wrinkled head, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
but it was like that all the time. Like I was like that. That's how
you were heavy.
Yeah. Like, fuck no.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So I started to recede. I'm like, well, I'm gonna end up with these fucking like this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get implants because I want to grow my hair out. Well, then I did that, and then about 8 months later, I decided to downsize and lose all my weight, and then my head didn't.
It went flat.
Shit. So I was like, oh fuck. Then I'm
okay. So
okay.
But I have a question. So now that you have the transplant done, can you grow your hair out anytime you want?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you can if tomorrow you decide you want to grow your hair out, it's there.
Yeah,
basically the follicles.
The follicles there now. Like you see, I mean, that's the scar. That's the scar from my motorbike accident.
Yeah, you can see that you have all over your head.
Like here is like that line wasn't there. It was up. It was up here.
I think it's cool that you have the option to do it whenever you want now. Now
I will say this: it's still not the thickness that I would. Yeah, like if I grew it all out, the front looks thinned still. Like I have the hairline, but
where did you get it done, Ben? In Texas?
Yeah, in Fort Worth. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wonder if turkey's better.
I don't think it's better. I think
cheaper.
it's just cheaper. Yeah,
It's cheaper.
Fuck, it was cheaper. Yeah,
it's like half the price. Yeah, and like you get these kind of companies that'll reach out to like North American influencers because they're trying to get that market over there,
right.
You know, away from these like big fancy places like Miami and Texas and stuff. So, but I mean, yeah, they're covering it for us. But yeah,
so,
if I was going to pay, I would be going out there. Yeah.
Aside from your hair, is the Dubai Muscle Show? It's not a show. It's just an expo, right?
I don't know actually.
I think there is a show, isn't there? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but don't know this year.
But it must be
12. No,
oh, it's a 212 show.
Wait, I don't know. Wait. I'm completely fucking making that up. Do not quote me. Look it up. Look it up.
I'm not gonna look it up. You guys look it up. I know it's.
I've seen a lot of celebrities. Basically.
I know it's a massive expo. I just didn't know if they had like a show attached to it. So, anyway, James, what's going on with you, man? I haven't talked to you in a little while. I want to show before you tell me what's going on. I want to show this real quick. This is James.
Oh yeah, no. I was like, fuck it.
Why are you wearing your underwear?
Oh, dude.
Because you got your own gym?
Little story as to why. I twinged my knee a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I had a little bit of a good workout tonight. So I was like, I got to check the leg pump. And that's it. So I literally put my trousers off and, I was being sensible, but I just wanted to make sure that things are moving correctly. And I had my Y-fronts on. I didn't have my boxers.
Okay, wait a minute, though.
I actually think it's a IFBB Elite show.
Oh, I mean,
I thought you weren't allowed to. I thought you weren't allowed to go to that.
Well, I'm not going to the show. I'm going to the expo.
I know. I'm not saying you. I'm saying all the IFBB pros that are going. I thought the IFBB had a thing about going to expos that are tied to.
Most of them are retired ones.
No, because like Chris is going, and like I don't.
Chris doesn't count. Chris can wave his dick around and
transcended.
Yeah. He's got the sunshine around him.
That's true. I guess everybody that's going is retired, like Hani and Jay and Ronnie and Ian and fucking everybody's like
a bit more flexibility in what they can do.
All has-beens,
yeah. You're all.
We're just trying to collect.
We've all achieved and been able to walk away.
We're just going where the checks are, just like
before the money runs out.
Yeah, before the money dries up, we got to get paid.
For sure.
So, James, why does taking your pants off help that your knee hurts? I don't understand that logic.
It doesn't. It's all just me. That's just pure. If that's the 41% of what Ian is.
I thought there was some trickery, like if you took your pants off, your knee to work better. I didn't know.
Zero. But to be fair, I was wearing a pair of trousers that weren't the most comfortable, so I was like, you know what, let's take them off. There was no one in there, so yeah.
Is that JP's gym or whose gym? Is that your?
That one's Jordan's little private one. So
okay. What So what happened? How'd you hurt your knee?
I was doing leg press on the Arsenal leg press. Just went deep for a few reps. I don't even normally do the Arsenal leg press, and I think I just overstretched it because I don't think I've got a tear. I think I've got some sort of strain because my knee's not locking at all or anything, and the pain is kind of nervy.
Yeah,
almost like sciatic.
Yeah.
So I've got a scan tomorrow just to double check. I trained legs just now, obviously in my pants, and I managed to do most things. I went on a hack and did some reverse band, which I never do, and people were going to come at me for doing that. But hey, I had to do it because I had to.
Wait, before you go on, that's when the reverse band. That's what it's used for.
Yeah, and it did help. It let me get. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, go on.
So yeah, just I'll check that tomorrow because I literally did the Arsenal leg press a few weeks ago. Then I went onto the hack. I went down during a set. I was like, that's not how it normally feels. Did a second set, went down. My knee just went a little bit in.
Yeah.
And I felt something that not crazy, but I was like, that's enough. So I said to Jordan and Corinne, who's Jordan's partner, I said, guys, I'm not even going to try and press out of this hole. Do you mind coming and just lifting this off me? And I'm going to go and get this checked. And
so you had that whole comment. You said it like that as well. So you had all that weight on you.
Yeah,
like,
literally. I was like, Jordan, Corinne, do you mind just coming?
Jordan walked over and he's like, yeah, I got it.
He's got 9 plates on his back. He's like, hey, I think I'm going to stop.
I didn't even have, honestly, guys, I didn't have much on there. And I think what had happened, I think it was the previous exercise that caused a bit of irritation because I don't leg press often, actually, to be fair. And I had my feet rather low and it wasn't the most comfortable pressing.
Yeah.
So I should have probably acknowledged that. So
James, before we get into like more of your status update and whatever's going on, I want to touch on that real quick because one thing I found interesting about Sam. So Sam is very
durable.
No, I want to say intentful in how he trains. So durable for sure. But
that's crazy.
Yeah. No, but he like when we trained legs together, he said he doesn't do leg press. And I was kind of shocked by that because usually like everybody that starts out does leg press.
I hate leg press.
Okay, just let me.
I get a ton of glute in it.
Okay, just hear me out. So he does it because he's trying to really isolate the quads. So for him, it's like leg extension, hack squat, like squats with really narrow stance. That's his thing.
Yeah.
So the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I've never heard anyone say that other than you. So I didn't know you didn't leg press that often. And Ben, you might not like it, but every time we train legs together, we do leg press, and you never say anything about it.
I always complain that my glutes take over.
No. I know that, but I'm saying like when we train together, we do it.
Yeah.
You've never said.
Oh, I never complain. I'm always but hey,
yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, fuck it, let's just do it.
No, that's not the point. I'm just saying like I've never heard anybody say. So James, have you always passed on leg press, or what's the theory behind it?
For a long time. Like there was a time I was doing it, but because leg presses vary so much in how they feel, I find them not a reliable exercise for what I'm trying to get out of them.
Okay.
Obviously a hack, again, they can be quite different, but majority of the time I can get what I want out of it. And it is that whole thing that Sam says, I'm really trying to focus on my quads.
Right.
So the only type of press I do is normally like a hip press, like a hammer.
Yep.
Because I feel like you can have your feet really low, and because it's on a pivot swing.
Just want to show, while you're talking, I just want to show people what a hip press is in case they don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And it's funny because it's called a hip press. Yeah, so the Rogers is perfect for it. And it's funny because they're called a hip press, so you think it's going to be very hip dominant. But if you're pressing in a certain way, you can obviously incorporate and work certain parts. And I feel it to be very quad dominant. So yeah, this machine, the single plate one that's there, the grey one, that one I really like, the one that's on the right. I don't like the single leg one. Oh, the dual one is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
You know, James, what's funny is a leg press feels like a hip movement.
I know.
Whereas
the hip press feels like a leg movement.
It feels like a leg, yeah.
It's weird the name like that.
I prefer the hip press way more for hitting my quads than a leg press. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to interject for the other side a little bit because I love leg press.
Yeah.
But
there you go. It's the argument.
No. We're not going to argue because I don't disagree with you guys that it's not a quad isolator.
And I'm going to say something after this that will
the reason
back up leg press as well.
The reason I've always done leg press and I love it is because I feel like it's a total leg exercise. So I feel like I get, depending on where I put my feet, I get my quads, my adductors, my hamstrings, a little bit of glute. So I feel like we're entering a generation where people are very, very
too precise.
They isolate too much.
Yeah.
And I see it a lot in back exercises. Like people are foregoing some of the compound movements for like that, James. So I kind of feel the same way about legs. It's like, okay, well, I don't want to do leg press because I'm isolating my quads, but I'm like, sure, but if you're going to get on stage, you want 3D legs. You don't want you don't want just quad.
For sure.
Yeah, but I'm not substituting a leg press for an isolation. I'm substituting it for a hack squat or a back squat or a
I know, but what I'm saying is like when I do legs, like I'll do all four. So like it's usually in some order.
Yeah.
Squat, hack squat, leg press, and an isolation like a leg extension or something like that, right? So it's like I feel like it has its place. It's not a replacement for anything. It's just an additional mass builder.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so
it hits a lot of it's an abductor, glute. So the caveat to what I was saying was actually I was going to say Sasan. Sasan's a massive fan of leg press and single leg press and has some of the nuttiest legs I've ever seen and complete. So yeah, I think if my workout had less exercises in it and I had to incorporate, so let's say I only had 4 exercises in my workout, then leg press would be in there because of the carryover. But because I'm happy when I do legs, I'd like to take my time. I might do 8 exercises. So therefore, because of that, I have the ability to be more selective. Whereas obviously if you're pressed for time or your workouts are short because of volume, then a leg press for me would definitely be incorporated instead of maybe the hip press. So it's just
what you just said there about single, like I would rather do a single leg press than just a standard bilateral leg press. It takes it out of my hip if I go single leg. Whereas when I've got them both on, it just
Okay, so Ben and Ian, I know you guys are big fans of the single leg press. Do you think so? Let's say for a beginner or intermediate that hasn't developed big legs already.
Double leg press, give her.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, because what I was going to say is like, can you put enough load on the machine?
I did. Even to the end of my career, I was doing leg press relatively often, or definitely earlier in my career, doing a dual leg press was like more of like a pinnacle movement in my training. And I like for the reasons you said that it is a kind of an all-encompassing exercise.
Right.
You know, when you're like hammering a leg day, like as I got later in my career, I'd be doing like quad day, hamstring day. Right. I was trying to focus, and my legs were, if anything, one of my strongest parts. I didn't really need like crazy amounts of like, you know,
stimulation.
It was really just like refinement at that point. So, but for earlier in your career, I mean, yeah, stick to those bread and butter, your squats, your hack squats, your regular leg press. You know, the only reason I actually went more towards the hip press later isn't even because of a feeling thing of like feeling my quads versus my hamstrings versus my glutes. I just felt they felt better on my knees.
Right.
My knees and my ankles and stuff like that. I felt I could get better ranges of motion, more knee flexion, more comfortably. So that's kind of why I transitioned more to using a hip press. Yeah.
You know, the other thing as well, especially I've got that Rogers hip press versus, say, a conventional leg press. I need considerably less weights on that thing.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't like. Yeah. I remember Luke and I, James, that in that leg press, we'd have like 15 to 20 plates aside on it. And
you're there for an hour, get it ready.
Yeah.
It's just a ball aches.
So I think from now on, when we discuss training, and I noticed it from TikTok because I posted some stuff on TikTok, and I noticed it's not just from stuff I posted. I noticed it when I see people talking about training. I think they're taking like stuff we're saying, but we always talk about training at the level we're at
later in your career.
And I think people are forgetting that there was a period before that. Like it doesn't, like we talk about training and we're like, okay, well, I didn't do leg press. If we didn't dig into that, there would be a whole bunch of people watching.
Not doing leg press.
Oh, I'm not doing leg press anymore. And
I'm
like,
to put it, give you an example. On Friday, I rewrote Brandon Laird is a young pro that I train, right? He turned pro at USA's. I rewrote his leg training. He has Widowmaker leg presses in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not avoiding it, but it's like situational.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like,
you know, well, this is what I always say, Fouad. I do it in videos all the time. I'm like, I don't want to see like, and it's when I'm being a bit rude and a bit forward. I don't want to see people who are this big going into the gym and not attempting to barbell row.
Right.
Like that's what you should be attempting. I don't expect you to go in the gym and do a low cable row for your first movement. Right. If you're prioritizing that over those bread and butter movements, like Iain said, then those initial years in your training, you're not going to notice that significant growth and strength because, you know, bending over with a bar requires a lot of strength over.
Yeah. So, and I think I've fucking beat this to death on the podcast, but I think it's fallen on deaf ears a little bit because honestly, when I follow some younger guys and when I see some of their training and I see stuff on TikTok, all these younger kids are doing like really isolated, like machine stuff. It's very rare to see somebody like Derek Lunsford is out there doing 4-plate fucking barbell rows, and he's got one of the best backs in the IFBB.
You know what the thing is, though? I think at the end of the day, it's because it's easier.
100%. But
it's like they're looking for the way that they think is a better way to do things easier, you know? Like, because look, doing a single arm isolation versus doing heavy bent over rows, like with a core stability, like makes you feel like you're going to fucking throw up, knocks the wind out of you, or even heavy dumbbell rows. Like, you know, we know how much different those feel than doing these single arm things, you know, the cable isolations and stuff. Guys don't want to do the hardest stuff. And they can justify it all they want with saying we're trying to be optimal and isolation, blah, blah, blah. But that's not really why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want the path of least resistance. But in bodybuilding, the path of least resistance is the worst path, not the best path, you know?
The one that hurts the most,
The one that hurts the most is the best path, you know?
Yeah, the diet that hurts the most is the one that's going to get you the most shredded, right?
There's a reason it's the most difficult. It's the most difficult because it's utilizing the most muscle, the most of your body and causing the most fatigue in your nervous system because it's requiring the most recruitment, you know?
There's also a big carryover. I mean, I did most of my like apprenticeship, should we say, in the strength and conditioning world. And it's very widely known that grip strength and lower back strength translate enormously into your performance and your performance and strength in the gym and on the field. Yeah. So if you can take that early on and develop that, your carryover into bodybuilding movements and bodybuilding reps and everything else is going to be exponential. You can now handle more load because you say your grip strength and your lower back strength, they correlate to strength over it.
I'll completely agree. Like, look, I didn't do them a lot later in my career, but everyone that's trying to bodybuild, this isn't situational in my opinion. I think everyone, when they're starting bodybuilding, should be doing heavy bent over rows and heavy dumbbell rows. Every single one of you. Like for the spinal loading, for all these things, even if it's not like targeting your lats the best or whatever you're trying to train, it's besides the point. Just to be getting heavy spinal loading, like staying bent over with weights where you're not supported by your hand or by a chest pad or by a machine, you are never going to regret that later in your career. I can 100%.
It adds to a look. It adds to a look.
You'll never regret it. Never.
Here's the thing as well. Here's the thing as well. If you're building that lower back core base and all the way up the spine, that whole posterior chain, if you're building and developing that intrinsic kind of strength that you have there, you're building a platform to carry so much more muscle mass on your body as well. Yeah. You know, it's just.
I'll tell you guys, when I was training, one of the things that was a trigger for me, if I went to the gym on like a back day and I was like, fuck, I don't feel like doing T-bar rows. As soon as I said that to myself, I'm like, I'm doing T-bar rows.
Doing T-bar
because that was
my mind. I have to do it now.
That was the trigger where I was like, oh, you're being a bitch. That's the one I got to do today. And it was
because I know if I say that in my mind and then I don't do it, I'm gonna go home and I'm be like, fuck.
That's often the same mindset I often had with squatting.
Squatting,
The days I squat my best.
Where I got that the most. Yeah.
The days where I squat, those were the days before that I record that set or whatever, or not even record it. Was the day I was like, I do not feel like this shit today.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that should be the trigger in your mind that goes, I gotta fucking do it. Even if
doesn't that also add just to your like fortitude mentally as a bodybuilder in general? Because you're gonna have challenges along the way. Diets are hard.
No, I think it's a good mental exercise because I think putting yourself in these positions, a lot of people succumb to that. And when they feel like anxiety or discomfort or like the feeling of I don't want to do that and they succumb to it, it creates that pattern of I can do that. Where if you don't do it and you're like, hey, I feel this way, I'm going to do it anyways, this is going to translate positively to everything you do in life.
Yeah. Well, it's like that.
One of the biggest things I probably carried out of bodybuilding is doing things that are putting you in your outside of your comfort zone that can benefit you. Like, oh, I don't want to do this public speaking event, or I don't like you with doing the Arnold or the
commentary
press conference.
In the press conference.
You're like, I didn't want to do this. I was
shitting your pants before.
But you did it anyways. A lot of people would have just been like, maybe I'm just going to say I'm sick or whatever. But you put yourself in the position, I feel this way. That means I need to do it. I need to put myself in that situation.
I was like that with this, the guest posing in Sweden. I was just before I was like,
you told me that. I remember you told me like before you went.
I was like, Branch, I don't want to do it, man. What do I do? And he's like, man, motherfucker, do it. I'm like, okay.
Listen, there's an old saying. It's like once you quit once, it becomes easier and easier to quit.
Yes.
And that is scaled down to that very precise moment where you're like, I don't feel like doing squats today. I'll do them tomorrow or next week. And then the next week you're like, I don't feel I'm doing this week either. And the next thing you know, the year later you have fucking shit legs because you skipped squats fucking 15 times.
And it translates to everything. I mean, even if you think of like how I was kind of known with being like super good with diet, like nutrition. That's because it wasn't because I was like born that way. It's because I made those decisions from the beginning. I made those decisions of I'm going to be this level of consistency. I'm going to, even if I want to eat the crappy food, I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to eat my diet food. I'm never going to miss my meals. I'm going to stay up if I need to get 6 meals. And then over time, that became easier and easier and easier and easier, just like picking your squats, your deadlifts, your rows, you know?
So going back to training, I was going to say a couple things, and these are just a couple theories I have about why training has gone this way.
Well, it's going to get serious.
No.
The pen and pad.
No, I just wanted to write down. I want to write down a couple of things before I forgot. That's why while we were talking. So the first thing I was going to say is I noticed this generation is way more intent on isolation than they are on compound movements. Everything I see on TikTok, everything I see from these like science-based guys, it's very like isolation-based. Like bench press is stupid. Barbell rows are stupid. Deadlifts are fucking for power lifters. And I feel like, how does that happen? How did like all these compound movements become the wrong thing to do?
Because I've noticed as well. Sorry, Ben. Go. I've also noticed that for the very few compound movements that are left, even they are being broken down too specifically.
Like what?
Don't bench like this. Bench like this.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker. When I get on a bench, I just want to lift A to B, like and with good form. Like, I'm not concerned about what I'm trying to fucking trigger. I want my chest to do the work. Just work.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's what I mean. They're not enjoying the work. They're in the gym for a different reason, certainly than I started. Oh, it seems the reason I went into the gym and started lifting heavy was for me and me alone.
For fun.
It was a completely different reason, it seemed. And now people are getting into training because social media is telling them that's what they need to do, or they want to be like someone else. I just wanted to be big, nasty, fucking strong and enjoy. And I love the hell out of like, let's put another fucking plate on. Good, go again. And I'm like stuck under it and I need someone to help me. Like I fucking enjoyed that. And then over time, I got stronger and stronger. I just wanted to be nasty, fucking big and strong.
Can I give you a counterpoint to that? Not that I think
there's no counterpoint to that.
No. I don't think I don't think you're wrong. I'm just going to give a second, because I think there's a lot of kids out there that do mean well, right? But this is the second thing I wrote down was this. So a lot of people will watch like Justin Shire train, right? And his training is fucking perfect. Like the way he moves, the rep speed, the form, and he does compound movements and everything. And then people see the comments and they're like, oh man, your training's amazing. You're the best form in the world. And I think these young guys are scared to get ridiculed. So they don't want to do a barbell row where they might jerk a little bit, or a barbell curl where they might swing a little bit. So they're like, I better not do anything that's at all sloppy, or I'm going to get roasted in the comment section. Yeah. I better do what everybody else is doing and do these isolation movements and do them perfect so that my comment section looks really good. And I feel like it's playing a part. I'm serious. I feel like it's playing a part in how people do stuff.
So it's the same point, because
that's what I'm saying. That's
right. It's fucking. It's all derived from the same bullshit.
But I think that's why.
Just get in there and fucking lift heavy.
But I think that's why people are identifying with Sam, because he's not worried about people ridiculing his form or whatever. He's just doing what we all did when we were 21. It's just like lift and fucking be nuts.
You kind of need Sam right now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but he is a product of what is needed, and that's why he has got so popular. Is like what Fouad's saying. It's because there is so much of this hoity-toity isolation perfection. People are craving like reality of like, hey, this is how I train when I go to the gym. I'm not always like perfect form. Sometimes I just go in there and slam weights. My form isn't as beautiful as Justin Shire's or as these guys. You know, they can relate to this on a much more human level, because it is how a lot of guys lift, you know, especially when they're younger.
Well, you know why I know why I know it's happening? Because if I post one of my old lifts, in the comment section, there'll be like a number of people tagging some like perfect form.
Biomechanic cunt.
Yeah. They're like, look what he's doing. And they'll tag whoever, right? And I'm like, I don't give a shit. But the 22-year-old kid that's lifting probably doesn't want to get that ridicule.
I reposted a guy on it was just one of the guys that is a Supplement World guy on my story today. He was talking about like, I mean, you could probably play it, but talking about biomechanics and like how biomechanics doesn't necessarily work in the cases of hypertrophy. It might be in terms of injury prevention, things like that. But he's like, you know, saying doing a lat pull down doesn't hit your lats. He's like, I feel my lats just fine doing this right now. So he's like, you can't just say from these, you know, he's like, it's been so overthought to this point that it's got away from the original, you know, reason of what we're doing. It's the reason is to try and build muscle here.
It's like all the passion has just been
sucked out
of it.
Yeah. But that's why it's difficult for people like Iain, yourself, Ben, even you, Fouad, but because you left a little bit earlier. But it's why it's hard to sometimes want to still do this, because it don't feed back.
Right.
Like passion is something that has to be shared and spread. And try and tell me that you can find a place to go and people to be around that have that. There'll be like 100 people and you might find one if you're lucky.
Yeah. Well,
this is a rare few people. So it's so it becomes difficult. And it don't mean you're a quitter, but like if you're not finding enjoyment in the environment of what you used to enjoy, then something's up.
Well, James, tell me if you think I'm correct. Part of the reason, and I don't know if this is how I feel. I don't know if you guys feel this way. Part of the reason why we share stuff, or part of the reason why I share stuff, like let's say I have a lift and I share it. It's not just because I'm proud of the lift necessarily, but I enjoy like being able to teach what helped me.
For sure.
So if I put out a video and say like, hey guys, do this back exercise because it will help your lats or blah, blah, blah. And then you get 40 comments that are like, that's fucking stupid. You're like, why am I bothering? You're like, what is the point of like doing this if like nobody's responding to it? It kind of takes the enjoyment, like you're saying, James, out of like wanting to help.
Yeah.
Because
well, from your point of view, you just have to focus on the people, because how many people see that video? Not 40.
No.
Shit, like more than 40. So
I understand
like,
that.
Most of us that don't like reply, I like, to me, if you're writing in the comments, like I got better things to do than watch a video and then write in the comments.
Okay,
but I'll watch the video and I'll get the information I need from it. So the guys that are getting the information from it aren't verifying or validating your video, but they're getting good information from it. So don't fucking stop.
I agree with you 100%. But James, going back to what you said, is that kind of what you mean, or do you mean something totally different?
Yeah, but and just the general environment of this, you know, I'm just like an old man because I just remember when all of us probably started our gym pursuits and how different it was to walk in a gym and to know if someone competed or not was like a bit of a. There was a lot of like, if you knew someone competed, they were quite special.
There was more respect.
Yeah, they were quite special because it wasn't something many people wanted to pursue because it wasn't about social presence. They clearly had a self, you know, they had a goal for themselves because there was nothing to earn out of this apart from your own respect.
But James, how many people, James, if you went back, 15, 20 years ago, and you pulled out took everyone in the gym that was there and you said, okay, there's 5 people in this gym that compete. You could probably have been like, okay, him, and him, right? Yeah. Now you go into a gym, you go, okay, there's 20 people in here that have competed this year. Pick them out. You'd be like, I couldn't pick 3 of them out.
But I don't think
the physiques are different. No. What I mean is you could tell back in the day that when someone competed, because most of it was like either bodybuilders or they looked like they competed. Nowadays, you have people that compete and it's like, you haven't put the time in, you haven't developed any muscle because there's shows on for everyone. It's accessible, right? Which is a good thing for the sport, but by the same token, you've just got this flooding of people competing.
My opinion on it is just that the bodybuilding reasons to bodybuild are very different than they were when we started. And that's the only thing that I find very hard to kind of relate to because there's so many reasons to compete now other than the ones that we had like available to us. Our reasons to compete literally were, okay, I actually do want to be a really good bodybuilder and be known for what I do. There was no thought of I'd want to be known by everybody. It was just in our field. There was a lot more just consideration and care for our field, not the general, you know, because you knew if you were a good bodybuilder back in the day, if you knew you were a successful bodybuilder, all you knew is that you'd be respected by your peers, and that was enough.
Yeah.
Now, it's almost like everyone wants respect from everyone. But again, it's not anyone's problem. It's just the way that things have evolved.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we just keep plugging away and trying to teach people that it's not like, I feel like the numbers of influencers that are, I don't know, I don't want to keep saying science-based because I don't think that's wrong, but I feel like they're greater than us.
But that's why
they don't look great at shows.
But that's why James said earlier that that's why someone like Sam is what's needed, because they're being taught from influencers, right? They're learning from influencers, and if those influencers are all biomechanic nerds and all like just bringing everything down to a very clinical level, that filters down to them, and then you have like you don't have Branch Warren anymore.
You cut out, Ben.
That's what filtered down 20 years ago was Ronnie slanging and banging, you know?
Right.
For us to get a really clear answer is just this. If you look at the rate of progression with Sam versus some of these people we're talking about, that should answer everything to me.
It doesn't though. You know what,
guys,
James?
No, it doesn't, because they just say that he uses more drugs than
they use just as these science guys.
Yeah.
Wait, these science guys are the ones telling people to do fucking 2 grams of Mastron a week because I know them.
James, I know that, but the 19-year-old kid coming up looks at the science guy, doesn't necessarily think that, and they look at Sam and they're like, oh, he must be using like 1,000 milligrams of tren.
Okay.
But that's the thing though. You go, okay, you little like science nerds, go use the 1,000 grams of tren. See whether you catch him up then.
Yeah, go see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This platform, like I say, for this platform, if there's a message for 19-year-olds out there that are listening to it and you've got friends that might be, you know, kind of team this, team that, just listen for a second. Please know from us, because we've done it and we've taken the drugs and we know Sam and these science guys are taking the same amount of gear, but Sam is working a lot fucking harder and not giving a fuck and making the progress. And that's the bottom line. Yeah. And I promise you that.
He's eating sufficient food, paying attention to his calories. Even if you don't like what he eats, he's getting in calories. He's eating a lot of food, food sufficient to grow, which, look, I know a lot of these guys, and they'll be like, I can't grow, or blah, blah, blah. I can't eat enough. You look at how much they're eating, it's pathetic. You know, no wonder you're not growing. You're eating fucking 2,500 calories a day and want to be 300 pounds. You know, Sam's getting the food in. He's training hard. And that's what it takes to grow. I mean,
and we all agree. Ian, do you agree? Ben, do you agree? Fouad, that when we were coming up, we made more allowance for some of these more calorie dense bad choices.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
when you're teaching yourself to eat, you can't have the volumes that we can have now because we're not as big. So you have to be. So you got guys like Eddie Abou that are like anti-eat shit.
Yeah.
But come on, listen. In the beginning, when you're trying to put on a shitload of muscle, there's only so much food you can eat, and you have to be very careful with your choices in order to get those calories in.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to be shit.
Yeah.
The other thing as well, to Ian's point, you got if you really whittle it down and calculate what they're eating, it's one, not enough. And then you have the few that are like, oh yeah, but I do look, and they show you. I'm like, yeah, but did you do that for 6 months, to a year, to 2 years, to 3 years, to 4 years?
You know what's funny?
We'll do it for a week and be like, I didn't gain any weight. Like, okay, do that for fucking 3 years and then get back to
wait. You know, it's funny. Somebody wrote. I came across this question, and we're not in the question section yet, but somebody wrote the question: have you ever buried anybody in a workout? And the first thing I thought was, I have, but it's not really that easy to bury somebody once. But try and get them to keep coming back.
Keep coming back for a month straight doing those workouts.
Yeah,
that's where I've had it. I've had it where it's like almost everyone can keep up to a degree.
For one workout. Yeah.
Then come back the next day and let's hit back after we just hit legs, and then come down 3 days later and let's hit chest and tries, and then we'll see where you're at 2 weeks and how. That's when it's like I've had training partners in a week. They're like, oh, I need a day off, bro. Or, I can't do chest today. My shoulders are still fucked from shoulder day. It's like then it starts to compound. That's where you get it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, listen, we skipped over James' status because we got heavy into training.
Yeah,
that's fun. I was enjoying it.
What's going on with the gym, brother? Tell me what's up.
Oh, just it's coming along very nicely. The prime order is here 25th this month, so that's like one of the last orders of equipment I need. Just normal things, like talking to solicitors back and forth, just making sure things are in place, thinking, oh shit, something's not in place, and then double checking and it is in place.
Is all the cosmetic shit done? Like
for those Americans, a solicitor is a lawyer, correct?
Yeah, lawyer. Yeah. So all the walls have been so basically all we're waiting for is for Tony, our builder, to put the ceilings up, which he has. So now I'm just waiting for a plaster to come in, plaster everything, make it look nice and fresh, and then we can do the final decor. Okay. And then that's it really. So it's not far from being done.
Is it going to be all black?
No, we got like a grey that we've used with this.
I like
gym.
that. Okay.
And then we do have a black wall, obviously the one with Luke's portrait on.
Yep.
And then we'll have some like bits and bobs, but it's mostly grey and like black and white.
Very cool.
Because we've gone with that color scheme for the whole kind of brand.
Yeah.
So got some cool kit though, really cool kit.
So the gym's almost finished. When do you have a date for opening?
It's going to be January. We'll do an open day perhaps where people can come and see it in December, late December, if they wish to. Just like a free day where they come down and check out the place.
I wish to.
There you go, because I know you're over. You can come anytime. And then January opening, and we'll play that by ear because people that I've spoke to that own gyms, the guys that own Ultraflex, those gyms and stuff, they've said it's actually better to open a little bit later in January because people got no fucking money.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's just tentative.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple of specifics. Are you going to be selling supplements in there? Are you going to be selling clothing? Are you going to have like a supplement store?
Yeah, we'll be selling both. Obviously, Jordan can sell his range in there. If Yamamoto wish to sell products, we can sell that in there. I did speak to them on the phone the other day.
Yeah,
they've been sorting out their stuff, so hopefully they'll be able to be back in the UK soon. So perhaps that. And in clothing, we'll do like a cross collab for the gym itself because we'll use Trained by JP's existing kind of infrastructure and then do our gym brand.
So are you gonna have any sponsors like Gasp or anything put their clothing in there, or are you just gonna?
I want Gasp in it. I really want Gasp in there. I've spoken to the guys at Gasp.
Okay.
Because no one sells Gasp physically. It's very hard to get it, and people want it. So I'm definitely going to speak to like Michael and Martin and try and get that there because I would love to sell Gasp in the gym, and I want some Gasp kind of like graphics in the gym, kind of like just the sign and stuff.
Yeah.
So because it's a 50-50 gym in our ownership, it's like we're like, let's put everything we are into it.
Right.
It can be everything. So I really want to have that presence of Gasp there because they've been really good. They have a good message,
How excited are you doing your first like business? It's like this is yours. You're starting from the ground up.
I'm excited.
Terrified and excited?
I'm not terrified because I've got good people around me, and Jordan's very good at keeping you positive.
Yeah.
And then Yannika's been really good because she's basically like our COO. She's like running a lot of the operations. So that's really cool to have her involved. It's just making sure I don't want to let Jordan down, and I don't want to let anyone down.
Yeah.
So it's more me as a person that kind of worries, not from the business standpoint, but just from am I doing enough? Am I being on hand enough? Because I'm there most days helping. Like I like to go and help and check that the people we got working for us are happy and stuff.
Sure.
So
are you gonna have any bodybuilders over for like a grand opening? Like, are you gonna invite
100%.
bunch of
Love
pros?
Love to. I've already like spoke to a couple like in brief, and I know Jordan has. So once we finalize a date, I'd love to have quite a few over.
Maybe we could do a specific date for a bodybuilding and bollocks and bro chat.
I would love that. I would love that.
Grand
I'll
opening.
come anytime.
Yeah, guys, I would honestly, I'd love that. Again, all these things are everything's possible. Anything's possible when it's your own place.
Yeah, I'd love to help. It'd be great.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'd love to have you guys over.
What
I know Jordan even said, but I don't know if he's reached out to you. I know that Jordan wanted to get Hostile product.
Whatever. I don't think we can do. I don't think we can do product yet, but
yeah,
maybe clothing. But I know 2024 we're aiming to launch the UK. So
well, when you do, I know that Jordan was keen because we don't want to just sell our things. We want to sell people that we have the same message as.
Yeah, of course.
So listen, Hostile was one we've discussed.
I appreciate that. I'm not worried about Hostile. I just wanted to come support
for sure.
him and like help you get.
A lot of my friends over here are massive fans of the podcast, love your stuff. And if I can provide them with access to things in my gym, I'm doing them a justice as well.
I think it'd be cool to get us over for a fucking like a live podcast at the gym. Do you have like a
going global?
Do you have like a studio or something we could do it there?
We potentially do because Jordan's just sorted out some business on some more of the premises.
Oh, okay.
So that's an update I can give you a bit maybe in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because it means if we have this extra space, we basically have a lot more that we can do.
Right.
So
okay, awesome. Hey, okay, what about personal updates? Anything? What's going on with your physique? What's going
Nothing
on?
Really, just
are you getting ready for that? Are you excited about the Arnold? Like, what's going on?
I'm excited about the Arnold. I know it's going to be tough because obviously I'm pretty sure Samson's signed up to both.
Yeah, he's gonna.
He wants it all.
Samson's going to compete at every show this year. I think
he is. But I'm just trying to, on a personal level, just trying to find that inner belief. Like I've said to you, I dropped you a personal message, and the more I see myself transform and the closer I get to like a look I like, then I believe more. So right now I'm just working towards that. I've shifted a bit of weight. I've got a bit moving a bit more, kind of set myself into that pre-contest because obviously the Arnold is now about 15 weeks to the first one, if that's accepted. Haven't heard back yet. Might not get that. But there's the UK one 2 weeks later. So basically just aiming for that. Managed to get my body weight.
They normally announce at like 10 or 11 weeks out. So it leaves you...
First week of December is usually when they do the announcements.
That's what I've heard.
So you have another like 3 to 4 weeks before they ever start doing that. So first and second week of December is when I heard.
Cool.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then obviously the Detroit, I've said I'm happy to do. I'd love to do that as well, which is going to be April. And then I think there's another Arnold in between. From Antoine said there's a Brazil.
Brazil's the week
Brazil's
the week before Detroit.
James, I might just do a little run.
The Brazil is the week before Detroit, and we're not positive yet, but we're hoping to be able to fly any bodybuilders from Brazil that want to come pay for their tickets to come to Detroit.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
So I think so if you go to Brazil, we could cover your ticket to come to Detroit potentially. And
it's a trained by JP X Shed Gym expense. That's the plan. And then the back half of the year, hopefully I get enough qualification and then do the Olympia. Really, like, just got to believe.
Back in Vegas too.
Yeah, man.
I want to do that. Vegas. I don't like the Vegas setup.
I like Orlando way better too.
Orlando has for bodybuilders himself. The backstage was so much better in Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando as a bodybuilder is better. As a fan, obviously Vegas is better, but as a bodybuilder, Orlando is far superior.
I agree.
But it's that new resort now called Resort World or whatever, and it's back to October, which is nice. It's not so late.
Oh, so it's actually sooner. Okay, so yeah,
October 12th or 14th, one of the two. I can't remember.
Okay, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
I'm just excited. Honestly, what I'm really excited for, guys, is just once the gym's done, is being in there, that being my prep place.
Yeah.
With no interruption.
I know even for Chris, like when Chris got his like private gym in Florida, like it's not even that it's about private; it's that it's yours. You know. Like it's
a bit of love in the kit.
It's not that you need it to be like a private. Obviously, for Chris, he needs privacy. It's a little different. But just having like something that's yours that you created, like having that environment to train is so different. I mean, and you see what it's done for him the last 2 years, having his own kind of thing, you know.
I know, like with Jordan and his place, like Jordan, everything Jordan's achieved, you know, not maybe necessarily on a bodybuilding stage, but a lot of that comes from just having his time and space in that place.
Yeah,
so it does a lot for you as a human, for sure.
Can I tell you a side note, James, that might make you feel good on a daily basis? So I got my place obviously after I retired.
Yeah.
But I still get this feeling when you go to your own place. It kind of makes you feel better about bodybuilding because you're like, all your hard work is like you can see it around you. You're like, all of this came from my effort and my work and my time I put into bodybuilding. And it's like you have this thing in front of you now, and then it's like self-motivating because you're like, oh, this came from my hard work. And then you use that energy to even push yourself even further. So
one of the big things for me, and I bet it's probably the same for you, and you know, this is obviously a little bit emotional, but like you having the presence of Luke in your gym is such a big thing. And to have a space where, you know, someone that we all love so dearly looking over you when you're doing a hard set and you feel like you're failing, you ain't gonna let someone down. I'm not gonna let Luke down on a set. Like if I'm in there and he's looking at me, I'm like, fuck, I better do this. So I'm motivated to be under his watchful eye in my kind of little world. And that's one of the big things for me. And I'm sure you feel the same in your space. Ben has, you know, the picture in the gym above the squat rack. He never fucking fails a squat when he's under that thing. So it's an important thing for us on a personal note.
I'll just say this though, going back to what you said about your self-belief, and I said this to you in private, but I feel like it's important for people to hear, is like the one thing, and I think I've said this to Iain before as well. You know, people ask all the time, like, oh, if you could go back and do it all over again, what would you do? And they always think it's going to be like an X's and O's answer. My answer is always exactly the same. I would have got out of my own head because I think my personal biggest downfall was succumbing to self-doubt and anxiety too much.
Me too, 100%.
And I think I could have been, when I look back at my career and some of the self-sabotage I went through, I could have been a much better bodybuilder had I been able to stay out of my own fucking head and not succumb to the pressure. So if I could try and impart that on you now before it's too late, I would work on that, because you'll look back one day and you'll be like, this is what's going to happen. I'll tell you this. This has probably happened to you from other shows. Let's say you guys have all experienced this, I'm sure. Let's say you've done a show, and while you're getting ready for the show, let's say you're 4 weeks out or something, you do some progress photos, and you look at them, you're like, oh, fuck, I look like shit.
Hate them.
Then like 2 weeks after the show, you look back at those same progress photos and you're like, man, I look fucking awesome. What the fuck was wrong with me? That's
especially now that I'm like retired, I look back at some photos I know I'm like, holy fuck!
I was just gonna say, now
those at the time, the idea of posting those on Instagram was like 0% chance. Now I'm like, fuck, that's sick. I'm posting that. You know.
So James, imagine that over a 10-year or 20-year career. Now you're like, all that time I was so fucking hard on myself.
Yeah.
And I looked way better than I ever fucking thought I did in my head. And it's like, it's just.
Yeah, but if in that moment you had thought, oh, I look great.
No,
that's
Ben,
also,
I know.
You wouldn't have.
No, I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
There's a difference between pumping your own tires and staying out of your own head. I'm not saying you should be like, oh, I look fucking awesome and like take it easy. All I'm saying is don't beat yourself up. Like, don't do the opposite. Right? Like, like you shouldn't sit there.
Yourself.
Yeah, you shouldn't sit there and like say, "Oh, I look amazing," but you also shouldn't sit there and say, "Oh, I look like shit. I should never compete again."
The most difficult thing
that's not there yet.
Yeah, the most difficult thing I find is when you just, if you have, I know you just set a very high expectation of yourself, don't you?
That's
you know, Iain. I know how you've felt in the past.
Yeah,
you know, you set a goal.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's cool. It's the higher you get, the fucking worse it gets.
Well, yeah, and also like your perspective changes because of who you're competing against, and you start to compare yourself in the lens of like, it's different when you're going, and I'm like, you know, coming 7th at the Olympia, and then you narrow it down of like, okay, I look good, but do I look good compared to Hottie?
Then you're super focused on that.
Lunsford? Do I look good compared to Nick Walker? You know, so it's like, but you lose perspective of everything else because you're only focused on who you're comparing yourself
in the beginning when the pool is so wide. You don't even
think about it.
No. And then you progress like crazy. And that just shows you that the ignorance. And then I've noticed for myself, you know, I've done well. I've got to the Olympia. So now my focus now is just on the Olympia.
Yes.
So guys, I understand.
Good but bad at the same time.
I understand that. But the same way you're talking about perspective, you have to step And I said this to Samson after.
Of course,
after,
you do,
after
for sure.
I said this to Samson after his third place because he was kind of bummed out about it. It was like a few days later when he was back home, and we were talking, and I said, Samson, look at your life. So it's like, sure, you've narrowed this perspective down to like, okay, there's 15 guys in the world. Who can I beat? Right.
Yeah.
But then you also have to step out of that entire box
Where have I come from?
And go, what? No, not just where have I come from, but look at my life. Like, what has bodybuilding given me? I have a nice home. I have a nice car. I have a wife that I can take care of. I have a gym that you're building.
I can travel the world.
Yeah.
I make tons of friends.
So
I can go wherever I want, do what I want. Yeah.
So sometimes let's just hypothetically say, and I'm not saying this to like make it seem unhappy for anybody, but let's just say hypothetically, you were going to be 8th at the Olympia, James, and you were going to be 8th at the Olympia for the next 5 fucking years. In your mind, you're like, okay, that's a failure because I want to keep progressing. But when you step out of that box and you look at your life and you're like 8th for the next 5 years and you keep getting paid and you keep building up your outside life, it's not a failure. And I think that's what bodybuilders get stuck doing. Because I think it was Johnny Jackson that said it to Cedric one day. We were backstage and Cedric was upset about a placing. And Johnny said, this is your life. This isn't about one competition. Mm-hmm. So think about it on a long term. Don't think about it as one show. Think about what you're doing for your life. And it kind of like put it all in perspective. Because if you think about it as just a competition, you get so mired in the weeds that you're like, oh, I'm never going to beat Hottie. I might as well quit.
Yeah. I think it's honestly this thought and what you're saying actually is one of the realization thoughts that actually I ended up having that really made it easy for me to retire. Mm. You know, when I caught and I was so focused on these things that I actually didn't care about, but I was so wrapped up in them because you always feel like you're going to the next step. But when I took a step out and I'm like, look at what I've done.
Yeah.
Look what I built. You know, the doors that this has opened for me, like the connections I've made, you know, the money I've made, like everything like this is like, this is way surpassing what I ever expected when I started bodybuilding. I didn't even know what the Mr. Olympia was when I started bodybuilding. I've competed there 5 times, to have placed high there, the won 6 shows. I've been second at the Arnold. I made good money on my contracts. I've made tons of good friends. I've traveled the world. Like, you know, I've lived in Florida, like all these cool things that like are way, way more than I ever hoped to accomplish from bodybuilding. And when I stepped out, I'm like, I'm good, you know? Yeah. Like these doors are open. I'm excited to explore the avenues that these have opened for me, you know, whether it's coaching or traveling or judging or doing podcast events or, you know, just hanging out with you guys, whatever it is. I'm like, these doors are all open for me now. Yeah. And like, I've made this, all my hard work over 15 years, created this. And now I'm just excited to explore all that created for me, you know?
Right.
Like I opened all these doors. Let's walk through them now. I'm good with my bodybuilding. Let's step through them and see what's there, you know?
Go ahead, Ben.
I don't know whether I look at things a little differently because I didn't turn pro, win pro shows, do Olympias. Yeah. But to me, again, like what you just said about Johnny talking to Cedric, it's like, it doesn't matter if there's a stage or not. I'm a bodybuilder, like day in day. I mean, you know, I do it every day now. I still like it gives me a lot more than, like I said, I'm not discrediting. Like it's done a lot for me financially and business wise and everything, but it does so much for me on a day-to-day mental. Like it's what I love and what I find solace in. And whether you're like, if you're watching this and you compete, great. But if you're watching this and you have no designs to compete, but you love bodybuilding, you're still a fucking bodybuilder. Like there's bodybuilding and then there's competitive bodybuilding. They're not. Right. They don't always have to go together. You can be a bodybuilder for the rest of your life and never step foot on stage, in my eyes.
Right, but Ben, there's a really, really big difference. So, bodybuilding is therapy. Competitive bodybuilding is fucking anti-therapy. Right? It's like if something's gonna fuck you up, it's competitive bodybuilding.
Yeah, and that's why I say that to everybody. Listen, you can be a bodybuilder and say to me, "Hey, I want you to coach me or whatever," and I really want a bodybuilder. I love it, but I don't want to compete. I'm like, cool, you don't need to. If you don't always have to, because that next step might be too much. It might actually destroy what you love.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and like, even for me, like when I decided to step away from bodybuilding and I jumped into something so fast. Like, I'm like, I want to run, I want to do this well, and I'm going to put everything into it. People are like, why is he going into this so fast? He's downsizing because he has health issues. I'm like, no, I love to train and I want to put that energy and that like my competitive prowess against myself to perform, to better myself, to train hard. I still have that itch I want to scratch. I just want to scratch it with something new. You know, it's not that I still love bodybuilding, but I love training as a whole. And the competitive side's gone now. So it's like, okay, what could I put that energy into? So it was just, I wanted to invest myself in something that was going to make me feel fulfilled training wise, like bodybuilding was, you know? And have that therapy side of it where I can still go and I can see myself progressing. I can see I'm getting faster. I can see I'm getting stronger. See these things that really drew me to bodybuilding, the self discipline and the self progression of it that really drew me to bodybuilding. It's just in a different outlet, but it's the same feeling that I'm searching for, you know?
Yeah, James, what were you going to say, James?
I said it's like you obviously taking up, things like the jiu-jitsu and that. It's a way to have that same.
I was going to say, people might have said, "Oh, why are you jumping into this so quickly?" Those people don't understand. So competitive bodybuilding is very different than just bodybuilding in a sense that there's a ton of pressure that comes with it. And I think one of the things I did wrong was not jumping into something, and I dealt with depression for a couple of years.
Dorian did the same. He said that, Yates.
Right. So finding jiu-jitsu has been incredible for me. So because now it's not because I'm going to be a fucking UFC fighter, but it's because I found something that I can progress at. Because I think the one thing that we all love about bodybuilding is that you can see the weights going up, you see your arms growing, you see whatever the progression is that you're chasing.
It's the work you put in, you see.
Yeah, right. So when you can no longer do that, whether it be on a competitive stage or because you're older, whatever the case may be, now there's a void.
Yeah.
So Ian's filled that void with running. I've finally tried to fill that void with jiu-jitsu, and I think that's why I think you're still okay and you haven't dealt with any type of
and so many people ask me, I get this question all the time. It's isn't it a mind fuck for you seeing yourself shrink and stuff like that? And I'm like, not even a little bit.
You're so focused on this.
You have a new goal.
I've never cared less in my life than I do right now about being smaller or being weaker or whatever it is. When I was competing, if I had one day where I felt a little smaller, even though I was 298 pounds and I felt I looked a little smaller, it would fuck my week up. Versus now, I'm I literally don't care. My goals are so outside of that now. I want to be something different. I want to look something different. I have different goals. It's not even a thought in my mind. I don't look in a mirror literally ever since I've retired and be like, oh, I'm small. I don't like this. I've literally had that thought 0 times. I can walk around an expo wearing a shirt that's not flattering and not being like, oh, are people thinking I'm smaller? Are they like, oh, it's Ian's getting smaller now? Are they talking behind my back? I don't think that at all.
You actually
0%
develop
of that for me.
You actually develop somewhat of a freedom because you don't care anymore.
It's so freeing. I literally don't care at all. 0.
Also, when someone's created a legacy in bodybuilding and done well, I've never met anyone that's retired who's small now and looked at them and been thought anything negative of them. I always see them still as that legend. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that's why I'm trying to tell myself, it's when the day comes and you're not so big, people will still be like, well, you achieved a lot. It doesn't matter. No one gives a fuck. No one actually really gives a fuck how big you are.
Well, and everyone who's an actual bodybuilder knows that you don't stay like that forever, you know? Right. You shouldn't stay like that forever. And it's you did what you did with purpose and because you loved it. And when the time was there, you moved on to something else, you know?
Right. Yeah. Ben, go ahead.
What? Yeah, so I don't know if it's different for me because, like I said, I never got up to that level. But I went through that thing of okay, I retired. I can't be, 290 plus and every week progressing and getting stronger. So I found it really difficult to be in the gym, period. I just hated it. So I went off and did cycling. I lost 60 pounds. Then when I went back into bodybuilding, I found the love for it again because I was progressing, but not getting bigger. I was getting some of my strength back and I was enjoying movements again. Right. And I'm still coming down, but
you're also taking that pressure off yourself a bit, I think.
Yeah, but I'm getting the progression back in the gym, but it's not with that aggressive every week has to go more and more. But I just feel I feel a bit better. I'm moving nicer again, and I enjoy the progress is giving me the enjoyment back again. So I get back into bodybuilding because I kind of reset my expectation of myself.
Yeah.
Right. My expectation when I'm 290 is, well, I can put 6 plates on a squat and do it to Freddie, and I can do this, and I can do that. It's going into the gym and watching myself get weaker every week was demoralizing. So I had to for me, because I don't want to not bodybuild in terms of the training. I like squatting. I just like being in the gym. So I can have these other pursuits, but my foundation is always going to be to bodybuild. Yeah, I'll do some fitness. I'll do some running. I'll do some of this alongside of it. The that I wouldn't have done when I was competing because that was going to limit my progress absolutely on stage or in the gym. But it's like I had to reset all of that expectation on terms of what I saw for myself going into a gym. Yeah. So I don't know whether, and you guys might never go back to that. I don't know whether Ian will, but
that's probably how I'll be.
I had to go through that phase of like, I need to just take a break from it completely reset. And now for me, I love it again. It's like, I
don't doubt there'll be a time when, you know, I run my course with the running stuff and got where I, you know, accomplished the personal goals that I want to do and felt that fulfillment and that way to transition out of bodybuilding and, you know, kind of help me mentally would do that and give me some new goals and perspective and stuff where maybe in 5 years, 10 years, I'm like, I don't want to compete anymore, but I miss that training. I want to do it. I want to see my strength and progression, put a little more muscle on. You know, obviously the drugs and stuff won't be part of my life like it was when I was competing, but you know, like I'll always love bodybuilding training. I mean, and the track was different for me too, because I sprinted when I was young. So like this was a passion I had coinciding with bodybuilding my whole bodybuilding career. You know, I followed like high track and all that stuff my whole career. So it was an easy one because it was like, it was one of two. I love bodybuilding training. I love track. So it was like, where's the other one? Okay, bodybuilding's gone. Go to the other for a little bit. You know, but I don't doubt there'll be a time when it's like, hey, I missed this. You know, I want to go test myself in the gym for, you know, a couple of years again, see what I can do. I don't doubt that that'll come back around for me for sure. Yeah.
So James, you got the show coming up. You got the gym opening. When are you getting married?
That's the question, isn't it? Do you know what? I was going to buy her a ring not that long ago. And then I was like,
I was totally guessing. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I was going to buy a ring. And then I was like, nah, this shit I've got to buy for the gym. I told her.
Wait. This is a good question. How expensive does the ring have to be for you in your world?
For me, an engagement ring, I'm quite flashy. I'd probably, I don't know if this is flashy. I'd probably spend about 5-6K.
No way. Really? Yeah. I thought you were going to be like more like me.
I'm quite like, because I don't get things for people often. When I do, it's normally quite high price. I don't know.
Yeah, I have, you guys are going to think I'm such an asshole, but I absolutely hate the whole diamond ring thing. It fucking irks the fuck out of me.
It does.
I'm like, I will buy her a fucking car before I buy her a fucking ring. I'm like,
but it makes no logical sense because the diamond's going to hold value so much more than a fucking car.
It's so useless.
Keep it forever too. Where
I don't care. It's
useless. She's going to crash it. She's going to.
First of all, the ring is useless. She's going to fucking wear it here and there. Can put it in a drawer.
What about
investment? It's a good investment. It's a good investment. Diamonds.
I'll buy her a fucking house. I'll buy her a house. It's a better investment.
I spent a shitload of money on Melissa's ring. I won't say how much, but it's a lot. And I don't regret that for a second. Like when I see her wear it and I know she loves to wear it and I see it on her finger and like she loves to show it off, I'm like, that was money well spent.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you.
My thing is,
you know, a house is not a better investment than diamonds because if the world burns down, you can't take the house with you. Diamonds you can put in your pocket and that value is going to go wherever you go.
Fuck off.
My thing is, I
buy a ring. Fuck off that shit.
I'm trying to buy her love.
I know you are.
You know, like honestly, like I'm like, if I buy something really extravagant,
she'll love me more if I spend more money.
That's why I hate the ring thing. Because that's what guys think. They're like, if I get her a $20,000 ring, it means I love her that much more. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
It works though. It works.
It doesn't. It works. It works for the first.
Melissa loved me a little bit more when I spent that kind of money versus, you know.
Okay, well, I'll tell you guys this. So when me and Summer got married, I was fucking broke. So I got her a very small ring. And now I don't want to buy her a big ring. I told her, I'm like, when I gave her the ring, I was like, when I'm rich, I'll buy you a bigger ring.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to buy her. I'm still not rich, but I don't want to buy her a bigger ring now because I'm like, it's such a stupid fucking thing to waste money on.
Well, if she's already happy and content,
it's literally not a waste of money though. Like the stuff that you spend money on is a waste of money.
I'm never going to resell the ring, Ben. It's just money that's gone.
You're never going to get all those Starbucks back. They're just going to you probably spent like 50 grand on Starbucks.
I bet you if I asked Summer right now, would you rather have a bigger ring or cut Starbucks out completely? Like you can have a bigger ring, but you got to cut Starbucks out forever.
Or no, limit it by half.
No, it's got to be cut out because the ring's going to cost like 20 grand.
There's even no ring or no coffee. You can't have half a ring.
Yeah, you can't have both. You can't have both. You want a nice ring or you want Starbucks? I bet you she'd take Starbucks.
I think most people would, though. I think most people would.
Okay, wait, look.
I would take Starbucks over.
Wait. You
expensive.
got to put some value on that ring. You can't say a nice ring. You got to say like a fucking $100,000 diamond ring.
Say 30 grand on a ring, or no more Starbucks.
Okay, what's that?
But the ring doesn't stop the caffeine addiction.
Hey, Summer, you're on the podcast. I have a question. Can you guys hear her? Summer, say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear her?
She's not entertained. She's
Okay, we have a question for you. Would you rather have a $20,000 diamond ring?
30,000.
No, 20. 20 is reasonable, Ian.
You can afford 30. You can afford
$20,000 ring,
Yes.
and never have Starbucks or any coffee bought for you ever
Wait,
again.
no, just Starbucks.
Or would you rather have coffee bought for you every day and no ring?
The ring.
You- Fuck.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
God.
Yes.
Had a girl.
You're gonna totally. You know what? This is bullshit. You know what she's doing?
This is
She's only
all
saying that because I'll get
She
the ring,
knows that's why.
and then
you're
I'll
out.
still keep buying her coffee.
Yes.
That's what-
She's smart. She's smart. She knows what she's doing. She's very
All right,
intelligent.
Summer. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Summer,
Bye.
for confirming.
So about that ring.
Women will always be women, Fouad.
She's
grabbing
gonna.
some
She knows
water.
exactly what's gonna happen. I buy her the ring, and I'm not gonna get her coffee for like 2 weeks.
She said that pretty quick. There wasn't too much thought. The ring
Oh.
right away. She was like, ring, you know?
All right. Well, fuck. Maybe one day when I have
He's
money.
walking around in his pants again. I think.
I was thinking
It is
about this.
underwear.
I was thinking about this the other day. I used to sit around in my underwear all the time when I was big,
I never do.
and now I'm always in a pair of shorts or jogging pants, and I'm like, I wonder what everybody else does.
Yeah. It's
Are
funny.
you-
I was the opposite. When I was bodybuilding, I would never be no clothes because I didn't want
Yeah.
to see myself. And now that I don't give a fuck, I'll walk around shirtless. I literally don't give a shit. Yeah.
No, well, no, but what about did you ever sit around in boxers like James?
No.
Not now or before?
I would now more than I would then for sure.
Really? Ben, what about you?
No, more now
now.
than
See, when I
especially
was,
if we're outside and playing and my in-laws are over.
Yeah.
I feel less like a douchebag in
Yeah.
like swimwear or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
well,
Sorry, what was the question?
Well, because you're in your boxers, and I thought I was saying when I was big, I would always I would come home from wherever the fuck I was, I would take off all my clothes and just sit
Yeah,
around
that's
them.
you're a fat, sweaty fuck, and you have to get your clothes off. You're fucking. You got swamp ass ball fucking sweat.
You
You're
know,
like, get these fucking-
you're such a fucking asshole. You know that? You know, the closer I get to you, the more of an asshole you become. I'm really,
He knows you get away with it.
so no, it's not because I was fat. Even when I was
Yeah.
shredded for a show, I would come home.
Yeah, but then you had fucking 7 grams of trend.
Yeah.
Sweating your balls off. Too.
So you're always sweating, basically.
Yeah, but no, I was just thinking about it the other day because I was sitting around in my boxers and it felt weird. And I'm like, I used to do this all the time. And I'm like, I wonder what everybody else does. So I was just asking the guys. So James, are you always in your boxers? Yeah, see,
Always.
it's I think it's a big guy thing.
Are you
guys,
a shirt
and-
with boxers, or are you a shirtless guy too?
No,
No,
I
I'm
like having I have a t-shirt on if
Yeah.
I'm not lean.
yeah,
When I'm lean,
cover the stomach.
yeah, exactly.
It's weird. It's weird because if I'm in like a hotel or like when I used to live by myself, I'd be all the time. I'd just be in pants or like boxers, whatever.
Yeah.
Where at a
Hotel,
hotel?
I'm normally naked.
If I lived on my own,
Yeah.
I would be I would always be just. Yeah, I'd be in boxers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But around other people, I would always be clothed.
Well, it's not people. I'm saying like me in summer. Like when it's just me, like I would come home and I would be in my boxers and a t-shirt.
Yeah, my house always has people in it, so I'm like, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's do some questions. Unless there's anything else to cover. Oh, we should cover the show. What am I talking
Yeah,
about?
the show, man. We had fucking freak.
That's why we were gonna do
Oh,
this in the first
Neckzilla.
place.
Freakazilla.
Trust.
No, well,
Homie showed up for sure.
Rubiel. Is it
Okay.
Rubiel?
Yeah, Rubiel.
What
I
a
think
beast.
that's how you pronounce it. Let's go
Did you
into.
did you pull up the 5-year?
Oh,
the
mate,
20
that transformation is
Oh, where
crazy.
was that?
Retarded.
I think he's posted it even.
Yeah, just go on his tag photos.
If you think he looks
Absurd.
impressive now, seeing what he's done in 5 years,
I
is
know.
mind-boggling.
I saw
That's
that. It was crazy.
Like, I remember us 5 years ago, Ben, doing supers, and I'm like, I've put on maybe a couple of. Like,
Yeah, well, I looked about that. Yeah,
so,
this is just the thing of like showing all humans are not created equally. Like genetics are
Yeah.
fucking king when it comes to bodybuilding. Like no matter what drugs you take or what you could train perfectly, eat perfectly, have the perfect cycle with the best quality drugs and all your fucking Increlex and GH and whatever you want, living in fucking Kuwait with 1 million people training you every day. You 99.99999% of people could never ever make this kind of
I'm going to say it now. You know what I'm about to say? You know what I'm about to say, Fouad.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
You ain't going to see a Caucasian gentleman grow like that.
Never,
bro.
Never.
The only other guy that's grown like that, if you look at Samson.
That's right.
So I'm like,
Rami did it too.
Yeah, but what we call
Caucasian. That's not Caucasian.
Yeah,
no, I know, but I'm saying the brown guy's got it too.
Brown guy's got better genes for that growing shit.
We call it WAG. It's called West African God Mode genetics.
Crazy.
It's only the West African countries. So like the Nigerians, you don't like not the Ethiopians and the Kenyans. This is the West Africans, you know?
He's from Colombia though, right?
He's Colombian.
Rubiel, yeah.
But what's
James doesn't care. James like he's dark. That's all that matters.
I'm just like, listen, he ain't his parents.
No, but he might be from Colombia, but have 2 Nigerian parents. I don't know.
We'll have to do a 23andMe on him. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, let's get him to do one. Send him one in the mail.
Okay, this is a 5-year transformation. That's
like,
not even
there. Look at the genetics. So look at the shoulders. Look at the arms. Like
traps.
You can tell this motherfucker's got genetics. You know.
He's side shots. Yeah, but for me,
not that.
That's the best side chest in Pro League right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's 2 side shots. He won both side shots.
Yeah, he was winning side shots, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the best side chest and side try competing right now, in my opinion. You know,
because he's got a neck to match.
I don't know if I'll go that far.
Oh, really? Come on. The side shots are
the side. The 2 side shots.
I know. Let's just give me a minute. We'll look at it in a minute. I just want to look at this.
We'll break him down.
This is one of the most ridiculously freaky physiques I've ever seen.
His legs. What the fuck?
Okay, so
and he poses like, look at his posing. Most of the time, these freakazoids like come out and they can't pose to save their life. This guy, look at this. This guy's hitting fucking twisted quarters. Like, fuck, this is crazy.
Yeah, he's got an incredible physique.
It's pretty mad.
Yeah,
and like, don't get me wrong, he has his flaws.
I actually had him in second.
I had him in second too.
I would have had him in second as well.
I did as well.
I had him in third. My dad, do you know what's funny? My dad and I had a big argument. My dad's like obsessed with this guy now. He's gonna listen to this and be like, "See, fucking Iain Valliere, I told you he's fucking second." We had a big,
I know more about bodybuilding than you said.
Yeah, I pulled rank on him and everything. I'm like, "Fuck you! It's what I do for a living. Fuck off." Like,
look at that.
All right. So, okay, let's go to strong points first. James, you start. What would you say other than the
obvious first one?
Other than the legs, like, go. Just give me a few. Like, run down the physique.
Good separation actually through like the midsection, shoulders, triceps. Like the tie-ins are good.
Yeah.
They're clear. They're clean.
Yeah.
Nice dippy shoulder to tricep tie-in.
Yeah, leave that running.
That's my first strength.
Yeah, his separation is actually very good for a guy this big. Like you can see when he puts his arms down there to transition. You know, goes to the side chest, like or side.
Ian, what do you think other than separation? Give me other than obviously quads. What else?
I mean, everything's good. Like I don't think anything's bad. Obviously, because his legs are so big, it makes you think his upper body might be smaller than it is. But I guarantee you in person, if this guy had pants on, you couldn't see his legs. You'd still think this is one of the biggest upper bodies you've ever seen in your life. You know, I mean, his calf, but his legs are crazy. The back is still good when he opens it up. I mean, everything is very impressive. Like, I mean, I don't have any real serious knocks against it, to be honest.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it's balance. It's balance, right?
Yeah.
The physique is not balanced. If you take it if you separate it halfway up, then they're 2 crazy physiques. But do they go together? Not right now.
Not yet, no.
Okay,
but like, I don't know how he'll ever balance out any upper body with those legs, you know?
I would almost have him do all of his cardio on the Stairmaster, do no training on his legs.
Training his legs like once a month at most, and just like taking that energy and putting it into upper body training, you know?
Yeah.
I think he's incredible. I think he's got really, really nice shape muscle. Like he's got really round shoulders, really round arms.
Yeah.
He's got great lats from the front. I feel like his back is a little weak from the back. It's back double biceps, not bad. But the back lat spread does not fit.
I
had the
not the black lat spread. Not the black lat spread.
It is a black lat spread.
But hey, can you pull up the comparisons of the top 3? Because
I'm gonna.
Because in the lat, but hang on, in the lat spread, you guys had him in second. I had him in third. In the lat spread, I had him second.
Yeah, he looked good. But Crizzo is not great from the back.
But Fouad was saying that he's back double. I actually had his lat spread better than his back double.
I'll show you. I'll show you, Ben.
In the comparisons, it looked good. I agree.
Here, just hold on a minute. We're looking at him by himself. So front shot.
It doesn't matter what you look like by yourself.
Yes, it does. We're breaking down a physique, right?
Yeah, but we're talking about in the competitive.
We're not talking. I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking about the physique by itself.
Yeah,
I understand in the show it's different. But I'm talking about his physique. Like where are the strong?
That's insane.
The side shot's nuts.
The side shots are incredible.
Especially because when you have that kind of traps too, I find traps, it's such like an underrated thing for a side pose. Like you wouldn't think traps are like relevant in a side chest, but when you have that like bubble to bubble, like all the way down, that makes such a difference. You know, if you see guys that have really small traps, it does take away from a lot of their side shots.
All right.
That's a great shot.
So back double, I feel like is more even.
Yeah, that's a great back double. I have
like
no problem.
This is good. Like his back could still use more size, but it's good.
But like leave it there. Now put your hand over his bottom. That's still a retarded back. It's just because his leg.
That's what I mean. It's always his legs that are gonna.
Yeah.
Okay,
the back is like one of the better backs out there for sure.
Okay,
but it's
guys,
his legs are huge.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about. We're talking about his physiques, right? So the back double is good, but when you go to the back lat, I think it's a different story. So that I stopped it just
no, he didn't stick it. He didn't stick it or open it up.
There's stills in the comparisons. Go to those.
It's weird because his legs are so big in the back double. It's like he could do with more tricep, even though his arms are pretty fucking
above
big.
it, right above it. No, right above.
One second.
He's not in it.
He's up there.
Middle above,
Okay, Samson's not in that shot, but that's fucking amazing.
What the fuck?
Oh my god!
The shoulder, the chest.
His rib cage has that good shape as well. You know when the rib cage goes up at that angle?
He won the side tricep and the side chest hands down. That wasn't.
I don't know if he won. I don't know if he won the side chest.
I think that's preference.
I don't have him winning the side chest. His leg is bigger, but Samson's bigger up top and he's more balanced.
Yeah, I think the balance of Samson does give him the edge on that, but it's like the freakiness of like the chest striations, the side leg striation, you know, like the flow of the arm to the delta roundness is very
I wouldn't
have to.
He's not fucking.
Look at his calves. Look at his calves, by the way.
He's got 30-inch calves.
For a black man, you always talk about black men not having calves. This guy's got fucking monstrous calves.
Yeah.
I think depending on what you like, like say, if you like that more classical look,
it's not necessarily
Samson ticks all the boxes as well.
No, Samson has amazing flow to his physique, and he poses that very upright.
So it's not about
how.
I'm not necessarily saying it's about preference, James. I do like the freak factor, but strictly in bodybuilding criteria, Samson is the more balanced bodybuilder, and that's why I have him winning this shot.
Oh, I'm winning there. Yeah.
Like these two, like this upper body and this lower body, look like it's two different people to me.
I don't agree on the side poses in the front and back.
No,
poses, I agree, but
that's where I think in the side
his front to back thickness is very good. So I think it looks better in the
look
front
at the
shot.
size. Look at the size of his fucking leg compared to his
but
upper
he's
body.
so thick front to back too. I think it works.
I don't think the discrepancy top to bottom is as big on his side shots. I have him winning the side shots.
I agree.
I don't have him winning the side chest. Maybe the side tricep for sure, but not
the side tri is absurd.
Fucking.
I actually really liked his abs and thighs. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good.
Actually, really good, isn't it?
He's got a really
good.
Like he doesn't have a tiny waist, but the quads are ridiculous. The ab development is very deep.
I would give him this shot before I gave him the side chest.
Okay.
Do you see? I have Samson in this shot.
How?
Because now the leg development is really overpowering his physique. To me,
I agree with you there. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Samson
now it doesn't flow as well.
The flow is definitely much better for Samson in this shot, but I think Rubiel's just got that freak factor, the good deep abs, the crazy quad. But I think if you're talking about like balance and flow, Samson's definitely far superior in this shot.
Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, balance wise,
I'm still giving the shot to Rubiel, but I think it's much closer in this. Yeah.
I think the ab development and hardness and the size of his legs together.
They are, but I would want to see those lats out wider to look at a quad sweep. I'm like, fuck me, it's all the way out here.
Yeah.
I just think they're too imposing.
You know, his calves remind me of Ben. Darren Ball. Remember Darren Ball?
Yeah, they just
the calves are like the same.
Thick all the way down. But I don't know. I just think he could actually do in that ab and thigh, he could do with his legs being a little smaller and he would win that shot.
Do you guys see what I'm talking about in the back or no?
Yeah, I don't think it's a great angle for his back, but I agree here. I see it. Yeah.
No, but I don't like the back double. I was saying the back lat is
but
where
I'm not talking about either pose necessarily, guys. I'm talking
just
about
the back development.
His back development in general compared to the rest of his physique.
I don't dispute that.
Like,
no, I don't say it's finished anyway. I think he needs to pound his back and his arms for a good while.
I agree.
And even the back lat, Ben. Like,
but no, I was saying if you just take the three of them, and I know what you're saying, I agree with you. The back needs a lot more thickness and width on it. But
to me,
if you take that shot, he's second in that shot.
Yes.
Only because of the lower body.
Yeah.
No,
I think his back is better than Krizo's.
I don't think so.
His mid back density and that thickness is better than Krizo's.
I don't agree. Look
at the lower body.
His
I'm
trap
just a little flatter. I don't agree.
James, what do you think here? To me, Krizo's lats sink lower and his traps are longer and there's a lot more mass overall, whereas his are very short and it's just they're the same thickness to me. They're the same thickness.
Honestly, if you put your hand over, it's very close.
Yeah,
it's a very close. You could call it.
So it's very close, and then you go, okay, don't look at everything. Now look at the legs. And you go,
okay, but that's also part of the problem, Ben. Is if like you do take your hand away, now you're like, wow, that's like a super heavyweight lower body and light heavyweight back. Like that's part of the imbalance problem.
Yeah, on the back, I don't think it hurts him as much as the front shots. I think on this, it actually looks kind of cool, but I agree with what you're saying. I think the back still obviously needs more, yeah.
Okay, we'll just say this before we go any further. I absolutely love the way he looks. We're talking, no, I know you guys. We're talking about people watching because they're going to be like, oh, you're going so hard. I absolutely think he's a freak, but we're talking about little like,
we're talking about comparing to the third best bodybuilder.
Just minute differences here between two top 10 Olympians. So that's why we're kind of disputing things.
Now, I want to have the question while we're here. Where would he have placed looking just like this? No improvements in conditioning or muscularity, anything in this year's Olympia. Where would you put him?
5th.
Because everyone listening wants to know that question.
I'd like to see him next to Aaron.
No, wait. Actually, I might put him at 4th. It'd be 5th or 4th for me.
I think he would have been 4th. I think he'd beat Brandon looking like that.
Well, let's put it this way. I think his conditioning was comparable to Andrew's.
I think it was comparable to Andrew and Brandon, and I think he's more muscular and has a little more. I think Brandon would kill him from the back with the back, but then he would kill him from the waist down. Right. So Brandon has the same disproportion, but top to bottom, he's to bottom to top. And then on the side shots, Brandon's best shots are by far his side shots. And I'm putting those with Brandon's all day, every day.
I'm putting them ahead of Brandon's.
I'm putting them ahead of those. Side, and then when especially in the conditioning in the side leg,
I can see
in the front shots. I think Brandon is definitely shaped better, but I think when you go with the ab development, the quad size, I think Brandon beats him in the side shot, but not nearly by enough to like overpower the whole thing.
You think Brandon's side tricep is better than that?
No. I think it flows maybe a touch better, but I think overall as a bodybuilding pose, I think Rubiel has the best side try there is right now.
Okay,
James.
But then, so then I agree. I feel like he could be as high as like 4th. But then why does Krizo beat him in the show?
I didn't have Krizo beating him in the show.
Yeah,
why does he? That's what I mean. Why does he?
If the judges are judging, I think they probably would have had him in 6, 7. I think like around Hunter, maybe
James. James,
I guess that's Krizo was 7, so who knows? We also have the discussion of in different lineups, you look different,
I think a couple reasons why they probably had Krizo ahead.
Krizo
the two reasons that stand out to me most are balance and conditioning.
Wait, can I also say Krizo was better here than he was at the Olympia?
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm just saying
he was dead flat at the Olympia, and his back, especially Krizo's back on the Olympia stage was flat on both nights. He wasn't that flat here.
I can't even believe what I'm looking at that side tricep. Like every time you go to it, I'm like, what the fucking fuck is that?
It's probably the best side tricep of the year, isn't it?
Look at that. What the fuck is that?
It's the best period. It's the best period. I don't see that being beat.
No one even close to that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No.
It is a really, really good side tricep.
Yeah.
But it almost takes the side tricep that we know and puts it another level up, like an evolution of it. I'm like,
there's no weak part of that. You look at it top to bottom, he looks balanced because his tricep and he's so thick through the chest. Nothing looks imbalanced there. He looks so balanced. He's thick as fuck through the arm, through the chest, through the abdominals. His leg is crazy. That looks very balanced there.
So this is this is actually demonstrating the only weakness I think he actually has.
What?
Because aside from like his back needing to come up a little bit, the only weakness I think he has in standing next to somebody like Derek, Hadi, Samson, or even Andrew is his clavicle width is a little narrow.
Sure.
And I think that's why when you're looking in a side tricep, you're like, oh, it's balanced because
I don't even know if it's his clavicle width. I don't even know. I need to see him in person to actually see what his clavicle width is. But I think
you
just
can tell,
been discussing with everything.
You can tell here.
You can tell in the ab and thigh. You can tell in the front.
Guys, you can tell. You can tell right here. Look at
look at Krizo. Look at Krizo across.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hitting it in a crab, which is obviously going to make you look narrow.
No, but you can see it in other shots too, Ian.
We're obviously talking about the show.
As well.
Just because we're on the subject of clavicles and shoulders, did you see the guy that got basically second in the amateurs?
That guy's shoulders were crazy.
Oh my god!
Is he on here anywhere?
Yeah, probably
will be.
Honestly,
I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about the. Is it Voltaire or something like that?
Yeah. Him.
The shoulders. What? That's
there you go.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's
see,
nice
this is
physique,
if you put these shoulders on Rubiel, he wins the Olympia.
You know what this shot looks like to me, actually, Fouad? This looks like a Ben Pakulski, like round shoulder.
Yeah. Same shoulders,
just with arms.
This is Ben Pakulski with arms.
Yeah, same shoulders for sure.
Great bodybuilder.
Yeah, those very round,
great physique,
ball shoulders. Yeah,
I don't want anybody to like take.
By the way, that guy's not a pro bodybuilder, right? And there's pro bodybuilders walking around that this guy would smoke.
There's guys at the Olympia that this guy would smoke.
Yeah.
I just want to say this before we go on because I know we're very critical. I'm super excited about this fucking guy.
Yeah,
like he is.
Is he going to do the Detroit Pro?
Yeah, he is. He actually called me yesterday, and he said
look at that backstage. Look at that backstage video in the middle there. No, backstage.
Oh, this one's crazy.
Yeah, this is okay. Yeah. You can see the clavicle width there, but like that looks even there. Look at the shape. Like that looks nice, man. Like that's crazy.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
It's crazy to me is why is his neck so fucking big?
I don't get that. Yeah, I really don't understand that.
Like, is that just a genetic like thing from training and it grew that way, or was his neck always?
No, go to that transformation because his traps and neck were thick there, even when he was a skinny, like
maybe it's because he's got a really slim face as well.
Yeah.
He has got a slim face, hasn't he? It's a secret.
I gotta say, his posing is very good. Like
very good.
Yeah. Crisp.
That side tricep, the way that the ribs go down at that nice angle.
Yeah, like here.
Yeah, it's really good.
This split is nuts too, man.
That's what I was talking about. The tie-in that so sliced.
Yeah, he's very, very good.
What a fucking freak!
And you know what's funny? We talk about imbalance. This is my own personal bias. I'm actually partial to guys who are imbalanced from the bottom half.
Me too, 100%.
Like if you have bigger legs than upper body, Ben, don't start with the dick jokes. I knew you're going to go there. Just please.
I wasn't. I genuinely wasn't. No, I wasn't. I
saw the look. I saw the look on your face.
I was laughing because I was having the same argument with my dad because I was telling him that bodybuilding criteria versus what he likes are two different things.
Right. No, but I personally, and that's why I didn't say like. That's why I think the judges gave Krizo second because he was more balanced. But my personal opinion is, I like a bigger lower body. It just looks.
Yeah, like there's things that we think are cool. Like even I was speaking with one of the judges at the Olympia, and they were with Ramon in regards to Ramon, and it's something everyone thinks is really cool about Ramon. And as a fan, you might not think as a detraction from his physique, but what they were actually saying is that his forearms, those fucking humongous forearms he has, they're too big and they ruin the flow from top to bottom in a lot of his shots. Where Chris has less muscularity in his arms, but they flow really nice because he doesn't have 22-inch forearms, you know?
But that's why Fouad got lit up when he said about Andrew's forearms, and everyone's like, I'm like, hey, it fucking matters. You're being like,
people
from
don't
the neck down. Yeah. From the neck down, it matters. Everything matters.
You know why? It's because people don't understand that things like massive forearms or like massive calves really change the way a body looks.
100%.
Like your waist, like the size of your waist.
You can have too big of calves that throw off your physique completely.
No, but think about this. The size of your waist is, in illusion-wise, is dependent on the size of your arms.
Your extremities, yeah.
If you have tiny little fucking arms, your waist is always going to look big.
Take that Rubiel. Now give him normal size, like good calves, but normal size.
Well, that's Rami. Now you got Rami.
It would look ridiculous, but because because these calves they match those quads in terms of their obscene development.
It looks crazy.
It looks mad.
Yeah, because they say because it's funny because people are like, oh, they never judge calves, and I'm like, they do, but they don't. It's like it's part of the flow of the physique.
Yes, it's the flow. You're not literally going these calves like, but it adds to the whole picture. You have to.
Right. James, what do you think about the show? Did you have Rubiel second, third, fourth.
I would have probably had him in second because I felt he was like comparable with size and
Right.
like muscularity to Samson.
James, do you think balance, like being imbalanced in the bottom half, do you think it should be a penalty? Like, does it go against, I mean, technically it goes against bodybuilding criteria, but do you think it should be favorable or unfavorable?
I think so. What I think it's actually you're better off actually being slightly under muscled in the lower,
okay,
versus over muscled in the lower for placings.
Okay,
because when I personally look at like a Lunsford, who's got good quads, but let's be honest, his still upper body is still
more
ahead.
dominant. Yeah,
Brandon too.
Yeah,
I actually, I think Luke had the right balance with lower versus up. I think that's the proportion they liked.
Right.
Luke had big legs, but could they have been a bit bigger? Maybe.
Right.
But it was the right flow. It kind of
back.
Do you know what I mean?
That was where he had his.
It made him do this.
Back.
Right. I really like that. So I think what they like is that.
Well, it's
true.
Well,
you take those two just names. You take Lunsford and Brandon. They're two. If you go and then Luke, all their best body parts are their backs.
Yeah. Dorian as well. Dorian Yates. Legs.
But guys, even Nick Walker, like he could do for some more quads or legs, and from the back shots, he's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like with Dorian, I would never look at Dorian Yates and be like, his quads are the best quads I've ever seen.
Right.
But the way that it's set off
with his back,
So
you have to have that back. You have to have that back for.
If you've got big legs, you need a fucking big back. Let's just say that.
Well, I think it goes to say with Branch Warren too, because if you look at Branch's early career, he wasn't winning because he had the same issue. He had massive calves, massive legs, but a little bit smaller upper body. And then once he started to develop the upper body to match the lower body, he started winning everything.
Well, it's like that. You can have a 10 back and an 8 in the legs and win an Olympia, but I don't think you can have it the other way around.
But you're right. But we did see it with Rami though. Rami had much bigger legs than a back, and he got away with it.
I think peak Rami was a bit more balanced than off Rami.
Sorry?
If anything, I think peak Rami was slightly better proportioned than what we've seen in the last, let's say couple of years.
Yeah.
And really, to be fair, best Rami in proportions was 2013.
And Rami's also at least like his back is still obscenely wide.
Right.
And you could argue that Hardy won both those Olympias.
But guys, I'm just saying, like, if we're talking about all the people, I agree with you on all the people we're talking about. I feel like Rami's the only one that kind of is a counterpoint to that.
Yeah, he was just the best on those days.
Because if you think of Ronnie, right? Ronnie had extremely massive legs, but his back was just fucking way bigger.
Yeah.
So
also, I think Rami was not the most controversial, but the tightest of all of those wins.
Yeah, like it wasn't like a landslide.
Brandon was tight too, though, when Brandon won.
That wasn't a deep lineup either.
Comparatively,
yeah. Regardless, look, I'm not saying why anybody beat anybody. I'm just saying Rami is the only Olympia winner that has a different
better legs than a back.
Yeah. That's kind of all I'm saying. Anyway, so any other? We should probably cover a little bit more of the show. Does anybody else that made note that we?
Miracle one is Miracle Bear. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about.
Well, first, let's can we just for a second congratulate Samson on fucking walking away with it? I mean, I guess we're not really going.
No, I'm not gonna. No,
we're not really.
Damn you, taking all the money this year.
Is he doing more this year? Or is he done for the year now?
He's done for this year. He's not. I think Tokyo's the only show left, so I think he's done.
A bit of a mish.
Yeah, he should do Tokyo too. Fuck it.
I think
it's a cool country.
I think this was the best Samson we saw this year.
I agree.
Yeah, this one was. I thought it was better than previous.
Yeah, he was crisp here. I liked his look here.
I almost wonder if he should do like a warm-up show before the Olympia, kind of like get himself.
I think he's planning on doing a lot of warm-up shows before the Olympia.
Total domination.
No, I mean, like one right before.
well warmed up, yeah.
Yeah. Who was fourth and fifth at the show? Nathan. Sorry, Nathan was fourth.
Coming fourth.
Nathan was fourth.
Fifth was.
Where the fuck is that? There was a four bang like a.
Well, I know Yang was sixth.
Yeah, they gave that Czech guy fifth.
Oh, Yan.
And
then Roman was seventh.
That's why Paul beat you in the bet. Yeah.
Can I tell you what's really interesting about that bet, Ian? I always pick Jan Turek.
And you didn't this time.
And no, he said it when he picked him. He goes, "I'll pick Jan Turek because I know you like him." And then I picked somebody different because he picked Jan Turek. And then I ended up getting,
man.
Yeah,
you got to eat those. You're eating those noodles that I sent you.
I don't give a fuck. Whatever. Who cares?
Man's got good. He looks good at the show. He looked better with the
Jan Turek
previous.
here in 5th, and this is Nathan. Nathan 5th. So Nathan was awesome. He just, I think, a little undersized.
I think standing next to those three big guys.
The show conditioning wise compared to the shows he'd done earlier in the year, I think I'd seen him a little crisper, but he still looks so good.
Well, if he was, I think
he just got a little lost size wise in this lineup, you know.
I think if he was off, I don't know if he was, but if he was, I think it's probably because he's like he lost Romania because he was undersized. So maybe they thought if he goes more full.
Well, yeah, and when you're staying next to Krizo, Samson, Rubiel, these guys are all like 280 plus, you know.
Yeah, you're trying to
they're 5 foot,
45, you know, 250. So
yeah, trying to fill out as much as possible to make sure you can stand with them.
It's really difficult, and they've got long insertion points. So you know, stand next to someone whose back's going to insert like right to here when they do a front lat spread. If you've got 3 of those guys next to one, it makes it difficult to look like you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree with me that Nathan is a little smaller now than he was in his prime size? I feel like
he's got 2 primes. He's got 2 primes because you got to remember he did the New York when he was full blown. Yeah. And then he's got the Cali when he was a bit under. But like 17, 18, I felt like he looked more full.
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
But I don't know because he says his weight is heavier now.
But then he's also not standing next to who he was.
Yeah, there's bigger guys now, man. Freaks now.
Yeah,
and like trying to assess him against himself on his own is difficult. I think I don't like.
All right.
There was no Krizo back then. You know, like he stood next to Juan Morel in New York, who he was bigger than Juan actually at that show when you look at him.
And Sass in LA, which
so
these are guys that are in their 240s.
Yeah.
Before we move on from the show and get into a couple questions before we log off, let's hear some Rubiel predictions for 24.
Oh, he's winning a pro show. He'll be at the Olympia, 100%.
Okay, he's going to be at the Olympia. Where is he going to place at next year's Olympia? If we're already going to crown him
top 10,
top four.
I'm going to put him 6th. 5, 6.
I'm kind of with Ian because I feel like Andrew's not going to make the same mistake again, and we also have Nick in the lineup.
And is Ramy coming back next year?
I don't know.
I think he beats Ramy.
I think he beats Ramy and Andrew.
Does he beat a healthy Ramy?
Yeah. Well, I think some of the things Ramy has going wrong will not be salvageable. So I don't think so. Do I think he beats a prime Ramy? No. Do I think he could beat the best Ramy that we could see by next year? Yes.
I have a
Ben. You said you have him ahead of Andrew.
I think if you take everybody, if everybody's there,
and everyone's in shape. Yeah.
Everyone's in shape and everyone's how they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I have 3 people ahead of him. Hardy,
Derek, and Sam.
Derek. So okay, maybe 4.
Nick.
I have a Nick ahead of him at the minute, but I mean I don't know if he puts more size on his upper body, I have him leapfrogging a lot of people.
If he puts,
and I don't have that many people in front of him. So
if he puts more size on his upper body, then that's a totally different prediction.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Well, that's what I mean. It's like, are we judging him on how he looks today? Or
we are
into next year's Olympia, or are we judging him on what can this guy do? Because clearly,
in
he's
5 years,
he's not this.
Yeah,
like he's doing this. What the fuck is he going to be like in 12 months?
I think he needs to be commended too on. He did the amateur show the day before, and you can tell that they didn't focus too much. They knew he was going to win that show. I think, or they planned.
They got tighter.
He looked completely 20-30% better, harder, crisper the next day. And I think that's a very professional move to be like, hey, I need to look good one day here. What day am I going to pick? It's the pro show. I'm confident I can win the amateur show and dial it in for the next day.
That's what I did. That's what I did with Dean when he won the amateur Olympia and then won the 212 the next day. Is I basically had him peaking for the Sunday.
Can you guys correct me if I'm wrong here? He was an elite pro, wasn't he? Like IFBB elite.
Yes.
Did he compete? How often did he compete there? Does anybody know?
A few shows.
Oh, so he's done he's got a little bit of a background.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know because I just kind of popped out of nowhere. I've seen him
imagine that was like his 3rd show ever.
Well, the thing is,
he's done a lot.
I've seen him on social media, but I've never seen any contest photos, so I didn't know if he'd done anything.
I started following him about 2 years ago, and he was competing back then in Spain and stuff. Yeah.
How much bigger is he now than the shows he did before? Like way bigger?
Yeah, his upper body's caught up. He was very lower body dominant.
Yeah, if his upper body catches up to the lower body more, it's going to be a problem for everyone.
Yeah, that's a hard man to stand next to.
What do you think? What do you think, James?
No, I was just thinking, like, it's weird because I wonder how like someone like Andrew feels after this Olympia. Like, I know I bring up Andrew a lot because I feel like Andrew has so much potential. I'm just interested to see what his next moves are.
I don't think
it was for me. I haven't ever spoken on the Olympia. I've been to every single one of Andrew's pro shows except for the UK Arnold, I think, and that was the worst look I've seen of him on stage at this year.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, let me real quick before we get off that question. If you guys were coaching Andrew, and they'll go around the horn so everybody can answer. If you guys were coaching Andrew, would you focus this year more on perfecting detail and conditioning, or just getting as fucking big as you can?
I'd get bigger.
Big.
Yeah.
Get big.
Yeah. James, you said conditioning?
Tough.
Detail?
I don't know, man. Tough one. It's almost, I don't want to say what I think because I don't want to have any push towards what I think he should or shouldn't do. But like, I can just imagine if some people that had.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, James. If you had Andrew that was from Texas, but was bigger everywhere, where does he place at the Olympia? Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm kind of with Ben and Ian. I'm like,
that dude's pushing for top 2.
That's what I'm saying, right?
But here's the thing: if he's puts in a good, solid off season, which we haven't seen him since he's turned pro, agreed, right? He hasn't really gone away and really bolstered that physique. They can dig him down more.
No. I know that. I'm
so
just
the condition, but the condition or that like condition priority will come later in the year.
I know that. I'm playing a strictly hypothetical.
More muscular like development and maturity will make it easier and for him to get in condition.
Go ahead, James.
Because I know, like, I'm not taking it away from who's coaching him, whatever. I know that the current setup, from my understanding, off season is pretty much you do as you do.
Yeah.
Which I think could be the problem.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it'd be interesting if someone like a Harney, not saying him in particular, but who takes reins all year round, that's where I'd be interested. And I'm not trying to like say dig or anything, but imagine that's when I'm like, me from the outside eye, I'm like, imagine.
Well, it doesn't matter. Just take the names out of it. If the current coach got on him year round,
any coach, yeah.
And they might. Listen, I just know how things are for the people that I know that do work.
Before we go, guys, we have like 15 minutes, so let's run through a bunch of these questions just so we don't letting everybody down. If Ian is 41%, how much are the rest of you guys? Ben, do you know what the 41% is?
No,
Ian's 41% gay.
Not 50.
Okay.
You can still be straight. You can still be straight as long as you're less than 50.
Yeah, for 49 you can be.
All right.
I'm 40. I'm 41. Yeah.
You're 41. Ben?
Well, who's the next most gay on the podcast next to me? Paul?
Ben?
I reckon me. I'd probably get a blowjob for Giza. If they were pretty.
If it's Brad Pitt from Troy, yeah.
I know you said Brad Pitt from Troy. I don't know. I think like more olive skin.
Oh yeah, you're into like the Mediterranean.
Mediterranean fella.
You're into like what's the Aquaman?
No hair, no facial hair.
What about Hector then from Troy?
He's Australian.
No, he's not. He's Spanish, isn't he?
It's Eric Banner.
Eric Banner.
Oh, I mean in real life. Yeah.
What do you mean Eric Banner's not an Australian name? Eric, like, what's his Australian name?
Guys, who cares? Okay,
anyway.
You're 49%, James?
Maybe 47.5. Let's go right down there.
Ben?
I think I'm a little less than Ian.
Like, I think he's like 34.
30, 35. Yeah, 35, 34. I'll say that.
Who has like 7.
Yeah.
0.5.
Yeah, but no, because he's so vehemently against it, I'm like, he's a 50.
I'm not against it. I didn't say I'm against it.
Yeah, you're higher than your.
I'm a 7. I'm a man.
No, I'm not. I just don't think the way you guys do. You guys eat.
It's because his Arab culture and him. He has to be like,
I'm not trying to make this question too deep because I don't want this to go on too long. You said we've got no time.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
But like, if someone's really, really feminine and good looking, pretty almost, and you think, you know what, you're that pretty that I don't mind that you got a cock. Where does that leave it?
That's where my 41%.
Does that mean you're still attracted to women, or you're
James?
Pretty?
I always mind if it's got a cock.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not
saying I've walked into that situation yet. I'm just wondering, like,
I don't know.
Maybe me and Ian might come across a really pretty man and be like, okay,
it still has a cock.
So basically,
the cock is the cutoff point for you.
James, basically. Yes.
Yeah, literally, I would get it and I'd cut it off, and now
That's
we
what I'm
can have
trying
a
to discover.
discussion. But if it's there, then no discussion.
If there's post-op, are you okay with it?
What would you give? What would you give Paul in terms of a gay percentage?
Oh, like fucking 0.5. The guy is like as far
Yeah, but
away from.
He's with his Theo and his good-looking men, like
No,
I think he appreciates.
Paul is literally the least gay man I've ever known in my life.
Yeah,
Like for sure. There's no doubt. He just likes to fuck around on the podcast, but he's very anti. Not anti. I don't. Anti is the wrong word.
He's
Sorry.
a homophobe.
He's a
Paul's a homophobe. You heard it here.
most lazy bodybuilder ever.
I heard Flex Wheeler was very lazy. I was listening to a podcast.
Really? I think that's been
It's been a high. A lot of people said it.
I feel like a lot of people. He would be mad if he heard that, but I think a lot of people have said it over time.
Yeah,
I'm just saying what people that used to train with him said on the podcast. I heard.
Heaviest squat and deadlift you guys have ever done? Fuck, mine's not even worth noting. So go ahead.
I don't even know. I don't know. I can't really recall a single.
Shut up.
Just don't for singles. Just do like your heaviest set. You can.
Yeah. I don't care if it's a single.
Squat maybe like 340 for like 4 or something. So like
340 kilograms. So it's like 800 something fucking pounds.
It's not quite 800, but yeah.
Jesus.
And then deadlift about the same.
Ben?
749 for
So 7.5 plates for 4 on a squat and 8 plates for a single on a dead, but 7 plates for 10 on a dead. I don't know. Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know pounds.
How did you do 7 plates for 10 and then only get 8 plates for 1?
It'd be like that. It'd be like that.
Yeah.
Would it really?
It's really weird. There's this there's this little fine point.
With the bar with deadlifting, it could be like that. Yeah.
Really?
Like I've deadlifted 7 plates for 9 to 12 depending, and I've only deadlifted 8 plates for like 3 to 5.
Yeah.
But I also wasn't training deadlifts for singles.
Yeah.
Right. So
if you're training for singles, it'll be different. But we're doing rep ranges of like 8, 10 on our dead, so you're getting better.
Yeah, I put an 8 to C, and it just felt infinitely heavier than the 7.
What's your heaviest bench, James?
I think 5 plates for 8.
Okay,
I'm in on that one.
Yeah.
I did 5 plates for 2.
Yeah,
I done 5 for 2. That's a
I used to be able to just do constant sets of 6, and there was a time when I did a bit better. But like 5 and 6 was my like standard everyday training chest.
Yeah.
But peak was about 8.
Yeah,
What's your biggest barbell back squat? Because I've never really. Since I've known you, you weren't squatting.
7 plates for like pretty good sets on barbell squats.
Crazy shit.
But I did a lot of years where I was doing Smith machine squats. So like I would do 7 plates in a
done heavy squatting,
like pretty heavy sets.
I'd argue the Smith machine is actually harder weight for weight than a free bar.
Wait. I want to ask you guys a question.
I argue that it's not.
I think with the heavier weights, it's not, because I think when you're trying to stabilize 7, 8 plates, it's harder. But I think in terms of actual isolation of the muscle, I think it's harder. But I think in terms of when you're unracking 8 plates, you're like, what the fuck? Like, like.
It's weird because I found that walking in, I find a better position than any time I've ever tried to Smith the equivalent.
I'll agree that when you're unracking and you're trying to get your feet in the right position, that's hard on a Smith. Yeah.
I'll tell you now, it's much less taxing on my body to do 4 plate on a Smith than it is a 4 plate back squat or a 5 plate, whatever.
I agree, but I feel like again, there's this turn point because you're so fixed in the motion that when you get to like that 7 plate, it becomes such a battle with just your spine. It's crazy. Whereas a free bar, you kind of got this spring in your back.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I got a question for you guys, just quickly. If you can do something for 20 reps, does that mean it's light?
No.
Yes.
Well, light for
relative.
you. Look, I could bench press. I bench pressed 4 plates for almost 20 reps. That's not light,
I've done a 5 plate back squat for 20 reps.
Yeah.
That's very tiring,
but it was light for where I was at that point in time.
But 495 pounds is still extremely heavy. It's just percentage of your 1 rep max. It is light for you. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Because let's be serious, 400 or 500 pounds, all of us have done at some point where we had an exercise where we could do 300, 400, 500 pounds for 15 to 20 reps in a deadlift, a squat, a bench press. That's still an insane amount of weight that not many people can do for anything, let alone squatting or.
So I could squat 4 plates for 20, which probably is not a big deal to you guys, but 400 pounds is 400 pounds.
Right, builds legs.
400 pounds, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, and as a percentage of my 1 rep max, like you guys said, right? So you said you did 7 plates for 9 to 12 on a deadlift, and then 8 plates. You said there's a turning point. So it's like, yeah, I can do 4 plates for 20 reps, but I can only do 5 plates for like 6.
Yeah. So what's the best point to stick with?
So it's like,
oh, if you want to talk about, like you said earlier, like something I would change in my career is getting out of my own head. Something I would change is if you just take one of those exercises, say squatting, I would take 20% of my top end load off of all of my
work with that.
No, but I guess the reason I'm saying is because people think like you can do high volume and it still be heavy.
Yes.
Maybe not scientifically, because you're right. Like if you can do 400 for 20, that means your 1 rep max is right.
This goes back to the conversation we talked about earlier. You got to do your bread and butter to get strong enough so that those 4 plates are light enough for you to do the fucking reps.
Right. Yeah. Right.
If you mess around doing isolation and you train your whole body weight,
maybe we need to change.
You're not going to get that fucking strength to be able to manhandle 405 for sets of 20.
Maybe we need to change the terminology from heavy to hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would
doing 4 plates for 20 is hard.
Yeah. Maybe that would change everything. Okay.
Well, I have clients ask me, they're like, oh, I did 3 plate back squat for like 2 sets of 10 and then an 8. Should I bump the weight up so I stay in that rep range? And I said, no, you keep going until you can do 3 sets of 20 with that weight, and then show me how big your fucking legs are.
Yeah.
100%.
A lot of the big legs, a lot of the people I know with big legs, their rep ranges were that kind of rep range.
Yeah. 100%. Shawarma versus kebab. Do you guys even know what that is?
What's the difference between a shawarma and a kebab?
Shawarma's on the spigot and they shave it off.
Yeah, it tastes better, but my inner bodybuilder thinking about nutrition always goes.
Oh, I don't want to see it. I don't want to fucking see that. Just serve it on the plate.
Why?
No, in England, when you're on a night out and it's like 2 a.m. in the morning and they've got that thing rotating around.
You're all drunk.
There's some dog meat in there.
No, man. It's just nice.
The shawarma meat definitely tastes better because it's like it's there and all the juices are dripping down.
Yeah, man.
But I agree with James. As a bodybuilder, I'm going to that fucking kebab every time. Yeah.
Why though? Why? It's still meat.
Yeah, but it just it feels like a bodybuilder meal when you're having like a skewer of meat with like rice. It's like it feels like a meal, you know.
I get worse.
Yeah, but you can
a shawarma than I do a kebab.
Well, that's because the spices are different on a shawarma.
I think it's because the dog meat.
No, the spices are different. You idiot.
I'm definitely going to eat a shawarma if I was under the influence of alcohol, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shawarma is drunk food for sure.
Are you guys still doing the no fap? No, we're not.
No, I won after day 2.
Ian won.
Wait, I don't know what fap is because I was
jerking off.
On the other group, we were doing who could go the longest for a bet, and on day 2, I'd already won.
So everyone went on the first day, pretty much.
Yeah,
I think Paul and Mike.
I was second.
Fouad was on day 2, and then I was like, "Is this over already?" I was lucky because I was traveling. I was in Florida for the week, so I was staying in a house with like other guys and shit. So I was like, "This is easy for me. I'm gonna win, no problem." You know?
That wouldn't change anything for Ben or James. They would still jerk off if they were in a house with other guys.
Bro, it wouldn't. But I don't wink often. I can't boast.
I don't. I can't remember the last time I did.
I don't really wink.
I don't.
Ben, you don't jerk off at all, or you don't jerk off in a house with other guys?
You jerk.
But I mean,
I can't remember the last time I jerked off in a house full of guys.
Yeah.
I just don't really ever feel in the mood to wank.
Yeah.
The house full of guys. Wait. The house full of guys is the more likely option for me.
Yeah, because you want to be cheeky.
No, because I'm away from home.
You're showing your 47%.
I'm like, listen.
Watch this, boys.
Oh no!
No, you're like listening to them all converse while you do it. And you're like, keep talking, boys.
No, if I'm on the road, I'm away from home. That's when I'm gonna wank.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, no, that's when I would as well. But when you're home, you're just like, love, get in there.
Yeah.
Does that still work for you, James?
Oh, absolutely.
Only if you buy him a diamond ring, Fouad. The bigger the ring, the better the sock. Please.
Yeah.
No,
I guess. Yeah.
I have my way.
What? You just force her?
Not force. It's not force. I just imply.
You imply that you're gonna force her.
I imply by literally just standing there with a really, really hard cock. I never ask.
It doesn't work for me.
I just expect if it's there and it's rock solid, then it's basically the question being asked.
I don't know why I keep getting these. They're just on repeat here. 1 second.
Probably because you've never answered those particular people, and they're like,
how many hot donuts could you eat in a sitting? Why hot donuts?
What's a hot?
Wait,
we have them here in England. That's what we would have.
Are they these ones? Or yeah, when they come off the carousel.
I reckon it's those.
Like Krispy Kremes.
Yeah, like Krispy Kremes.
Oh,
Fresh.
did you ever used to get at Costco?
I'm thinking of the.
Ben, you're such a fucking UK snob.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of like the
time-
ones on the pier.
Every time somebody says something about food, you're like, nah, UK is way better. Krispy Kremes are delicious.
It is.
It is way better. And I said this the other day on someone's post. I said American food compared to England is actually wank.
I'll give you that, but Krispy Kremes are fucking delicious. And by the
They're
way,
good.
UK is not known for the fucking cuisine. Sorry, guys.
It is.
No, it's not.
It's literally known for being like the worst.
Cottage pie, shepherd's pie.
You guys are
And
literally have
fish
one
and
dish.
chips.
One dish. One
The
dish.
breads, the
Nah,
the
bro.
pastries, the baked goods in England
Cornish pasty.
demolish everything here.
I
You
agree.
guys-
Have you ever had a Cornish pasty?
Listen, the UK is not known for cuisine. I don't care what you say.
Listen.
Ben, you
You're
should
in the
know that
little
as a you should know that as a chef.
No, wait. I've
No.
been pastry wise, bakery wise, artisan food. The UK shits all over North America.
What it is that Americans only think America exists. They don't
Yes.
know that England exists.
No, that's not true. What I'm saying is cuisine
Well,
all
it is
over.
true, but a separate point.
What
is,
I'm saying is cuisine all over the world. If you took cuisine all over the world, the UK
European
is not
food's
in
the
the
best.
the UK.
European food.
Don't say European. That's not one fucking
I think
homogenous
the UK is better
people.
than European.
Those are all different
No,
cultures.
I said North America, so I went continent based. I'm going
No,
continent.
we were
over here.
saying you can't just take you.
I can. I
Ben,
just
Ben,
did.
if we brought Fouad over for
5
like,
countries of Europe and the 2 in
Yeah,
North America.
yeah.
if we
It's
brought
a
Fouad over for a week,
land mass is not that different, and
If we're taking top 5 cuisines across the world, the UK is not in there.
name
you
them,
could-
yeah. Name what dishes, yeah, and I'll say that.
Italian food, French food,
What's good in
Middle
Italy?
Eastern food,
What's
South
good in Italy?
American food. What do you mean what's good in Italy?
Yeah,
Wait,
name a
hang
dish.
on, you
Name a
can't
dish
say
you think is
Pasta,
great.
pizza, pasta, fucking
Particular dish.
Fouad, okay, break it down though into food subsections though, because baked goods, pastries, things
Germany.
like that. No, England has better breads
everyone's
and
confused.
pastries.
not the Germany.
Oh,
Yes.
mate.
Schnitzel?
Yes.
You
Schnitzel?
go to Germany and you eat
This is
one
not
thing and then you
baked
run out of
good.
things
That's
to eat.
not
There's nothing else
baked or
left.
Not a big
pastry.
good.
Not schnitzel. What's it called? The what the fuck
Pretzel.
is that they have for breakfast there? What's it called?
Isn't it pretzel?
No, not is it pretzel? No,
Pretzel.
not pretzel. No, there's something else.
The big ones.
I had it when I went to FIBO. It was fucking like this amazing big.
Well, that's how good it was.
Listen,
You remember what it's fucking
Listen,
called.
James, when they come over, we're gonna take them around Borough Market.
Dude.
And plus, nobody's talking about bacon.
Scotch
They're talking
egg.
about food.
Scotch
They're talking
egg.
about- They're talking about dinner.
Sausage roll.
Man.
You don't got to sell me. I know.
Guys,
Have you ever watched the British Bake Off?
Guys,
Have you
your
not watched the
food,
British Bake
your
Off?
food
That's
even
what I'm
sounds,
watching it now. We're watching the
Tell
British
this
Bake Off
fucker to
now.
watch that.
your food
I
even
don't know,
sounds
no
it
idea.
sounds gross.
No, it
Scotch,
doesn't.
Scotch egg.
Fouad, you would eat one Scotch
Scotch
egg
egg
and
is
then
good, though.
all we'd see for the rest
A
of your
pork
life
pie.
is weekly you eating Scotch eggs if you had access to them.
Okay, what
James,
about
James, one of those big old pork pies that you have to actually
Oh,
slide
bro.
coke. Mate.
I was on. I think I tagged you guys in it when after I first retired, and I was on a tear with having the fucking eggs and soldiers every morning.
Yes.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
Okay, when you go anywhere and you look up like takeout food, there's never an English section. Nobody
No,
gives a
no,
fuck.
Because no one can do it like us, so they
No, 'cause
can't.
nobody
copy.
wants to eat it.
They can't do
Nobody
it.
wants
You
to
have
eat
to get it
You've got
in
cook
England.
food.
There's
You've got to
there's
promise.
Asian food, there's Indian food, there's
Yeah, but
Arabic
all those
food.
all those foods are made in the flavor for the people in that country. Like Chinese
No.
in England and
Yeah.
Indian food in England.
different. They're
Oh,
right.
Not real.
Oh no, I get it. It's not the same as like
Yeah.
authentic,
Not legit, man.
but the authentic version is still better than
I'm gonna
No,
James,
no,
James,
we're gonna have a
James,
fight.
you got to take him to we got to take him to
you guys are
Frinton
such
or
UK snobs. It's
Clacton
crazy.
and get him
Mate.
proper fish and chips in newspaper with some vinegar.
You know what
on
I
it.
find? You know what I
Oh,
find?
mate.
Wait. You know what I find ironic? That
Go on.
you guys think Americans think they're the best and that they're like too patriotic, and you're doing exactly that.
'Cause
No,
we've
we're just
got
not loud. We're just not loudmouths about it.
You're
We've
being
got
loud.
food.
You're being loud about it.
Wait, you
We
also have to
got,
think.
we got asked about it.
We're
They can
defending
also,
food.
they can
here.
also Ben can also make the fair comparison because he lived in both. Where like we've never lived in the UK to that.
I can make.
He has a fair
and-
comparison of a life in both. You know.
Yeah,
and
dude.
All right. all right.
whenever I take Donise back or we bring foods over, she's like, God, this is so much better.
Okay.
Every time. The only thing that I can see, the only thing that here in Texas is their availability of meat demolishes the UK.
Okay.
But
Can I?
seafood and everything else in England wipes the floor with where we're
Okay.
at.
Can I just be honest for 1 second?
Go
I'm
on.
literally just trying to get guys riled up because you're like
It's brilliant.
totally UK snobs. I do agree 1,000% that any food in Europe is much less processed and usually tastes fresher and different than food in North America.
James. So Carl, Carl.
Yeah.
He brought over crumpets and Yorkie bars, right, for me at the Olympia. Well,
James,
it's funny because so Hunter had to go pick him up because I didn't actually see him. So he came. This was like on the Sunday after the Olympia, and he gave me the Yorkies. I went, here, you haven't had one of these, try it. And so he looked at it and went,
you cut out. You cut out.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah. That was a vital part. We need
so Hunter took the Yorkie bar and he went, what's this? I was like, I said, chocolate bar. So he read the ingredients and he went, huh, I recognize all of those ingredients and there's not many.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Man,
that's what I'm talking about.
Our chocolate.
Listen,
our chocolate smokes everyone. The chocolate in America, I don't fucking eat ever. It's
not even chocolate.
Guys, I agree with you. I'm fucking around because when I traveled to Europe for SciTech a bunch of times, I experienced it myself. I never, even when I was in Birmingham, I got to
Birmingham.
You need a home cooked dish.
Birmingham.
You need a nice shepherd's pie or a cottage pie.
I got to tell you, shepherd's pie is one of my favorite dishes, so I'm all for that.
So good.
Or what was Luke told me?
The cheese in England.
What did Luke eat the one day? It was like a steak pie or something.
My half of my family
steak and ale pie.
Maybe that's what it was.
Very authentic Brit, so like I have the experience that I agree with them on a lot of these.
Okay, when are you going there, Ben?
December 20th.
Okay, maybe I should come with you.
Fred, you just need to come
for Christmas.
You just gotta
come have Christmas in England.
Eat some food. Our Christmas dinners are the best as well.
Christmas
pigs in blankets.
Christmas in England, eh?
Pigs in blankets. With gravy.
Fuck off. Okay, a couple more, and then we'll go. Nope. If it's probably a good assumption to make that the more pros in the sport, the bigger the sport is. So why do today's pros speak negatively about the amount of pro cards given out? If the cream rises to the top and giving out more pro cards, usually contributing to growing the sport, I don't understand the issue.
I'll be honest. I agree with this sentiment.
I don't give a shit how many pro cards they give out.
Yeah, see, because I've always said this. I'm like, look, as a pro that's competitive, I don't care. There's more people for me to beat in a show, and I don't really give a shit how many there are. The only thing I don't like seeing
is
I don't dislike it, and I guess it's an irrelevant thing to say, really. But like when we were just looking at that guy who came second to Rubiel, and we're like, this guy's not even a pro. You know, there's a big discrepancy worldwide in the quality when you're getting American pros, you know, who are coming third place at fucking junior nationals. And then there's guys who are like this, who are coming second next to guys who could step on the Olympia stage and come top 5, and they're not even a pro. That's the only issue I have with it, is that the discrepancy from nation to nation, the ability to gain a pro card is not even. But after that, I don't actually care.
So I had a in my head what I would love to see, and I'm not sure it's ever possible, but every pro qualifier, I believe the head judge should be able to say no pro card.
They can apparently,
or 2, 3, 4 pro cards here, because all those guys are fucking pros right there.
Yeah.
I think they should be able to, at their discretion, they should be able to at least give out 2. Because in Europe, like you just said, I actually made this point. I said, look, in Europe, you got guys that would turn pro and within 6 months be competitive on a pro stage, if not the day after, right? And we've seen it time and time again. And then you've got, okay, in the last 2 years, how many guys that have not been from North America have turned pro and been competitive right off the bat?
Yeah.
How many in Europe have, or in other parts of the world? A lot. Including Andrew. I don't
agree. I don't agree with any
Rizzo, Andrew, Rubiel, like, you know.
I don't agree with any person having the discretion to give a pro card or not. I don't like that idea of bodybuilding. I like you win or you do place in such and such a place, you get a pro card. If that means they have to have more pro qualifiers in other countries,
top 3,
then that's fine. But like,
that's fine.
But do you agree that, say they went to, I don't fucking know, say they went to a show and there's like, okay, the overall gets a pro card, but no one there is actually very good. Do you believe they should be able to hold the pro card back and be like, listen, you're not there?
No, I don't agree with that, because that's saying that, like, I don't agree that more pro cards is a bad thing. I just think there needs to be more opportunities to even it out worldwide. So if you're going to give out 2 at 6 fucking shows or 3 at 6 shows in North America, I think there needs to be equal opportunity everywhere else, so that these guys that are over in Europe and in the UK and in the Middle East can turn pro and get there, and they don't need to be fucking, you know, doing these shows where there's one pro card and it's like a big international show versus guys in the US, there's 75 opportunities to pro a year.
So
I'm not saying I disagree with, I'm just saying there should be more everywhere.
So that's a good point. But I think on the point of like how the pro cards are given out, it should be standardized across the board. There should be no if the judge thinks or if the judge thinks this, because there's two ways that could work is somebody might win their pro card that maybe doesn't necessarily look like they're ready to be a pro yet, and they could end up being a fucking great pro 3 years down the road. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but they'll get their pro card
or the vice versa could work, where he gets his pro card and he fucking shits the bed in a year and never competes again. So it's like, but I don't think one person should have the discretion to say
the Alexei Lezukovs of the world.
I feel like if you're going to make it if you're going to try and make it a legit sport, even though people think it's a pageant or whatever, if you're going to try and make it a legit sport, it should be standardized, right? Like you wouldn't have a football game where you're like, well, you know what, the Patriots are going to destroy the whoever. I'm showing my age here, but like the best team in the game is going to destroy the last team. So you know what? Let's not even play the game. Like you got to just keep it standard across.
Well,
the
I don't
board,
think that makes perfect sense in the analogy, but I agree
because you're letting them compete, and it's after the competition.
I know it's not the same analogy, but what I'm saying is like if you get on stage and you're the winner, whether you that's like saying Brandon shouldn't have been Mr. Olympia because it wasn't a tough lineup. Like you can't. You got it. You competed. You won. You get the pro card.
Okay, well in that case, I definitely think it should be the overall only. I don't think class wins.
Listen. That was how it was. Wins. That's how it was when I got my pro card.
I think class wins is not a good look. I don't think that's good for anyone.
Yeah, I mean,
the same as Dorian.
Going back to the question though, I could care less if they give out 1,000 pro cards because
I want to beat more guys.
Sure.
Yeah. See, my only opinion towards this is purely just a selfish, personal one that I dislike when something that wasn't super pop. It's just personal. I liked the quietness and the nicheness of what we used to do.
You like the cultness of it.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
That's it.
The thing is with that, James, is you are still like, there might be a lot of pros, but you are an elite pro. You're an Olympia level.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I'm not.
Yeah. So like that's how I always look at it. It's like, look, there's a million pros, and it might have diluted me saying I'm a pro being a valuable thing, but I can still say what I have as accolades as a pro are very
the best
rare
in the world. Yeah.
The other thing,
I agree, and that's why I don't get my. Sorry, Ben. That's why I don't get like up in my. I'm just like,
I want to show up at a show. I want to show up at a show where there's 49 guys, and I win that show versus a show where there's 9 guys that are all good. You know,
but
I'd rather be 9 guys that are good and another 30 that are whatever, and it's still a big lineup than just 10 guys. You know,
for sure.
But I've seen pro cards put the brakes on guys' careers.
I agree,
competitively speaking, because they weren't ready to compete. They won their pro card, and they're a long way off of being a pro bodybuilder, and so they don't compete. Or they do compete and they get smashed, and then they're like, "Oh, fuck this!" So because they're not ready for it.
No, I
agree.
Any
examples of that? Do we have any examples?
I agree in the sense that, especially like when you're giving pro cards out to like every class winner stuff, like you have lightweights and light middleweights and these guys winning cards.
Yeah.
And then they go pro, and it's like you say, well, they can grow as a pro, but I think that long of a time to try and grow into the pro ranks is not as valuable as this working up the amateur ranks in classes and competing until you're at those classes.
This
and
might
that's
be
what I mean. Like
this might be
go on.
This might be a harsh take, but those fucking people weren't meant to be bodybuilders to begin with. Because if you got your pro card and you didn't do well the first couple of years and then you quit, you probably aren't cut out for it.
I can
no. Okay. Let me say it another way. And I've got a guy like this who turned pro 2 years ago, but he's not ready. He was a light heavy. And he said, listen, I don't want to compete until I can be in that first call out and want to make an impact. And I'm like, that's okay. If that's what you want, then fine. But we're taking a long. And now he hasn't competed, and we're probably another 2 years before or another year.
Yeah, but wait, that proves my point.
Yeah,
it's got the minerals.
You're talking about a guy who's like more focused on winning or being somebody than he is about the actual progression. It's like,
but I'm agreeing with Ben's sentiment in that I think like where you need 5-year perennial off seasons is not going to be as valuable for you progressing as a bodybuilder as competing once a year, once every 2 years in your classes, moving up the classes. I
think you can still compete
relatively often. Yeah.
No one's saying you can't compete. You got your pro card.
No, but there's also this now.
You're scared to lose.
What you're saying there. Yeah. Okay. I agree with you there. Then that makes sense.
But also people that they want to be Nick Walker, right? They want that quick ascent. They want to be Rubiel and be like, oh, I turned pro and then I win my pro.
That's a dead issue.
But that's still.
I know, but it doesn't help.
But that's still proving my point. Like, look, I did the Nationals 4 times before I got my pro card. Right? If they would have given me, I lost the first time because they gave the pro card to the second pro card they gave to a second place super heavy. I should have gotten that card. If they would have given my pro card in 2004, I wouldn't have been ready to compete as a pro. But there's
agreed.
But there's no fucking way I would have stopped. I would have just kept fucking.
I
growing.
know. I'm just saying the landscape now is like you would have got your pro card, and then like we just don't have that to deal with. And I'm like, you had guys that would turn pro. I mean, if you even look at nationals back in the early 2000s, there were guys there that the guy that came 4th and 5th would have done well on a pro stage right off the bat.
I guess what I'm trying to say, Ben, is my personal opinion is if somebody has the balls to compete time and time again, year after year, to eventually get their pro card, they have the same balls. They have the same balls to compete every year at a pro level and not do well, but keep trying to get better. Like it's the same. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Like you're still going to have to take that time to progress, whether you have a pro card in your hand or you don't.
Yeah. Right? I agree. It's just I think the mental position on people nowadays is that everything is optically, like everything is on social media, right? So if they do a show and they get like 4th or 5th or they get scrubbed, they're like, oh, they can't handle that. Also, you know.
Oh, there is that now. Yeah, there's that introduction of more eyes on.
I think this is just going back to the argument of the cream rises to the top, and that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah. Like say the cream doesn't care. The cream doesn't care for opinions and will keep working.
Yeah.
Last question. Is a Pop-Tart a ravioli?
No.
Why isn't it a ravioli a Pop-Tart?
What? Maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
Maybe Pop-Tart should be called ravioli.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Sweet
the whole
raviolis.
cereal soup question, isn't it? It's the same shit.
I got that one too in here.
Yeah, it's like.
Wait, hang on. What are they actually called though? They're called toaster pastries, right? Or toaster sandwiches.
Toaster pastry.
Pastry. And is a ravioli? Ravioli's not a pastry, so no.
That's the thing. It's the context of the actual ingredient.
The answer is no. Ravioli is not a pastry, so therefore a Pop-Tart is not a ravioli. Fuck off. No, that's not a question.
Ian,
it's not a bread product like that.
Ian, I have a question for you.
Oh God. Okay.
I've been smoking 2 packs a day, and I still don't look like a bodybuilder. What am I doing wrong?
3 packs a day. Duh.
Up the dose. The bodybuilder response.
Just like steroids or food or training, when it's not working, do more. You know?
You got to change to menthol for a while. Change Leicester.
Yeah, menthols are the trick, actually, too. Yeah.
Eat one of everything on a menu. Which restaurant would you choose?
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, that would be the most difficult for sure. Would be Cheesecake Factory.
No, it's not a contest. It's like if you had to.
It's something you enjoy.
Yeah,
Cheesecake Factory.
They have the biggest. Yeah,
the depth of the lineup at Cheesecake Factory is unbeatable.
I think Ben's right because they got Mexican, they got Italian, they got like fucking everything. Asian,
good dessert.
There's no, you know what there is. You know what there isn't.
Soup.
You know what they don't have at Cheesecake Factory is the UK menu.
They would do so much better.
Luke, you know what? Luke and I we used to come over every time, and we'd be like, you know, we should open a Cheesecake Factory in the UK. That was our little dream
with no UK food on the menu.
I would say McDonald's.
McDonald's is
because it's light and easy, and you can get through the whole menu and you'd survive.
Yeah, but think about the diversity on the Cheesecake menu factory.
There's a but I kind of like the burgers.
Yeah, but they got burgers.
Is a good menu. I agree. Yeah,
it depends if we're talking restaurant or fast food.
I'm thinking physically, Ben. What could I actually?
Oh no! I'm thinking about what would I like? Sit down and I get a smorgasbord of I can get this and I can get this and I get. It's like a fucking buffet. McDonald's. I'm like, okay, it's a variation. All of
Ben hates McDonald's. He thinks it's garbage.
I kind of hate it until I really want it, and then
it's actually a good full menu now, and I would like to have as like a part of my life is the Tim Hortons full menu is good now.
Tim Hortons
never tried it.
Yeah,
they have bowls now. They got good sandwiches. They have good soups and chilies. They have good donuts. They got good coffee. They've stepped their game up. I'd go full Tim Hortons menu. Yeah.
Okay.
I really love. I call it Panama bread, and just for a laugh.
I know the one. Yeah.
Panera bread.
I love that.
Solid. Like that's a good. Yeah.
You know, bread-wise, nothing beats the fucking brown bread from Cheesecake Factory, though. That's
it is good. Oh, the bread in Outback, same kind of that brown.
You know what? If you get the brown bread at Outback with the butter and you put honey in it and mix the butter and the honey.
No, hey, those little cheese bread balls in Fogo de Chão.
Oh, those were good. Yeah. Those were fucking delicious.
Basically, bread is just amazing.
Or the Red Lobster bread, you know?
I've never been to Red Lobster.
Oh, you've had those Red Lobster cheese bread things, right?
Yeah. It's like
at the grocery store.
You soak it in butter. Fucking yeah.
Bread and butter, man. Come on.
James, Carl gave me those crumpets, the thick ones. I got butter. I made them for Denise, and I was like, "How are they?" They're really nice. Can you do less butter? And I was like,
"Less?
No,
how dare you
mean more?
I cannot do less butter."
You gotta do a shitload of butter, then some like jam or marmalade on there.
Jam.
You know what the problem with this is the problem with this podcast. I've been on my diet for a fucking week. I'm doing great.
And we do this, and you're like,
and now I want to go order food because of you guys. This is
I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten since Friday lunchtime, and I'm fucking starving.
Are you doing Are you doing one of those fasts?
It was unintentional because I was up with the guy doing Prague, so I kind of ended up just staying up through the night. And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna. And so it turned into. Then yesterday I kind of slept on and off all day, and I woke up today and I've been so busy. I've just And I was
like, drink coffee or anything?
Yeah. I mean, ripping the arsehole out of coffee.
Okay.
So how long has it? You haven't eaten since Friday? At what time?
I'm on 36-ish, something like 48. Something.
Are you gonna go? 40. Are you gonna go for another 72 like you did before, or no?
No. I'll probably get Domino's tonight.
I've completely destroyed Ben's fucking eating habits. All right, boys. Well, listen, James, it was good to catch up. We haven't caught up.
Yeah, thanks. Good to see all of you. Honestly.
And Ian, have a safe trip in a couple days. We'll
enjoy, Ian.
See you back with an afro. Ben, I'm sure I'll talk to you very soon.
I'll see you next week.
All right,
that's right. Okay, boys. See you later.
Peace.